Good afternoon and welcome here to Nethermoor. It's a fine, crisp afternoon and we await the game between Guiseley and Altrincham, an absolutely pivotal time of the season, and we will be bringing you live match coverage of this Conference North game between these two. Contested the last game that Guiseley lost in, an incredible 4-1 defeat. It was really devastatingly disappointing that afternoon, watching Guiseley get turned around by 4 goals to 1. But this afternoon they have turned things round so well, haven't they, Tom Feaheny, that this afternoon we've been unbeaten since that game, and you would never have predicted that, would you?
Well, what a fantastic run Guiseley have gone on since that incredible 4-1 loss where Altrincham, in the second half they just exploited Guiseley's defensive frailties. Since then, of course, there's been a number of sides made such a difference to the Lions' form and have put himself into Mark Bauer's good books.
Well, it was a great performance last week against Bradford Park Avenue. I'm delighted to say now we're going to be joined by Nik Keefe and Phil Rogerson. The two are just gathering at the top of the press stand here, and let's just find out what the chairman thinks before this game.
Thank you, Colin. So yeah, we're here chatting to Phil, who's joined us. So thanks for coming up, Phil. And this week we wanted to talk about the academy. Really, this week obviously the game called off that was at home to Farsley, which is a bit of a shame. But other than that, how are going with the academy at the moment?
Well, we're doing really well. We're 4th in the league, a few games in hand on the leaders, and we're hoping for maybe second or third at the end of the. Don't think anyone's really going to catch Gateshead, but Stockport's in our sights.
Yeah, and it's been a cracking season for them so far, hasn't it? Really, the difference in the second season. I mean, the way the academy's come on has been a really good thing to see.
Yes, age, another year on their backs helps a lot. But I think Dave Curry's done a fantastic job, along with Danny and Colin. So it's going really well. We just need to get some of those games caught up now.
And but as part of that, as part of how well the academy stuff has been going, obviously the eyes of people higher up the pyramid are being caught. The Whitfield. So
there's a education outlet as well as a footballing outlet, and quite frankly, players playing at a non-league level can make a season through university. So it's which would all be good all round.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's important that the education thing carries on being a big part of it, doesn't it? Because if you've got 50 people on the books, not every single one of them is going to find a conference level or a Northern Premier League level club to play for indefinitely. So, I mean, is that a big part of it? The getting the right route to give people some qualifications as well.
Absolutely, that's the way I see it, and it's quite appalling how players just. At higher level, just don't seem to have a plan B. That if they don't make it in football, and a very, very small proportion are going to make the big time, just end up with not having an education and not having a footballing career in front of them. So, yeah, it's absolutely a partnership with the education and the football, and non-league seems to fit that bill very well because it allows them to do both.
Yeah, just to change direction completely. We're stood up in the back of the seated stand, looking across the other side of the ground, and we've heard about ground developments and things, and particularly looking at the railway end and sort of that corner that we're facing over towards at the moment. Is there anything sort of concrete? Not to crack a pun there, but is there official we can know?
Concrete, yeah, but it's it's certainly the drawings have been done, and a planning application is very imminent for another seated stand on the far side of the ground and a covered standing accommodation at the railway end, catering and toilets in the away end corner. You can't see, can you? But in that corner.
Yeah.
So, which will hopefully meet will meet a grade A by next March, should that be necessary.
Okay.
March. That you had to have
end of March.
Yes.
So just turning our eyes to this afternoon then, most immediate stuff. What are you expecting today then?
It's difficult one to call. It's a big test for us. Pitch isn't at its best. It's been very wet. In fact, yesterday afternoon we really didn't think we'd be playing, but it's good to have the game on. Ground's filling up quite nicely now, so an exciting game, and obviously a bit of a revenge to be had after our little hiccup when we visited their place.
Absolutely. So all to play for. We'll pass back to now, but Phil, thanks very much for joining us, and good to know the other stuff that's going on. And so as the sun's just setting over the Bradford Road end, the Otley Road end, and we're watching people fill up the ground. It looks like we'll have a good turnout today. Just give us a chance to pass back to Colin and Tom to continue our match build-up today. And you've got some interviews. You've spoken to Mark Bauer already this afternoon, haven't you guys?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Good improv there, by the way, and a great description of the ground. Just on that far side, lovely weather we've got this afternoon for football. A little bit unseasonably warm. Now, let's return to the football, because this afternoon Bauer spoke to Tom Feaheny ahead of this afternoon's tie.
Mark, it's a tough game today against Altrincham, one of the top sides in the league. Just what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, they're obviously a very good side. They've got good players throughout the squad, and they've been able to pick a settled team throughout the season, not had many injuries, so that obviously helps as well. And we know the qualities they've got. Obviously James Walshaw's an obvious one, after scoring a few against us in the reverse fixture, and obviously his record that he's got here. But we'll go into the game aware of their threats, but we'll go out to it, exert our authority on it, and try and do as well as we can in it.
Just going to say, going back to James Walshaw, just what will he bring to Altrincham? Of course, you know him quite well.
Well, he's brought goals to them this season. They've played with Reeves. They're scoring a lot of goals for him in the last few years. Wally's come along and added to that as well. So they've got a lot of goals in the side, and we know the threats that Wally poses, not just through scoring goals, but the little tricks he's learnt through the years as well. So we're well aware of those. But they're an all-round good side with good players throughout the team. It'll be a very difficult game.
Looking at the FA Trophy draw against Aldershot Town, it's a big draw.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. We've pulled teams above us in the league at every stage, I think, when the draws have been made, and this one's no different. And with the travelling involved as well to one of the bigger clubs in the conference, it's going to be a difficult one. But we'll go there as underdogs, but we'll go there full of confidence. But there's plenty of league games to go between now and then, so we'll concentrate on those first, and then hopefully that's one that we can enjoy when we get to it.
A bit of transfer news: Luke Parkin joining from Leeds United on a month loan. Just what will he bring to the squad?
In terms of a body to start with, we're a bit short in numbers last week. The two academy players on the bench, so we certainly needed to strengthen, certainly in the forward department as well, with losing Danny Forrest to a short-term injury. He's got good quality, good on the ball, and finishes really well. So hopefully we can get him on the ball in advanced areas of the pitch, and hopefully he can enjoy his time with us and help the team out at the same time. It's
a new contract for Jake Lawler as well. Just how much has he impressed you during your spell there?
He's been excellent wherever he's been called upon to play, whether it's been centre back, defender in a back three, in midfield. He's played really well for us and progressed the way that you would have hoped when we first saw him, with the qualities that he possesses. You would have hoped that if he could have grown into the side and continued to improve, he's a long way from a finished article certainly, but he's been very impressive for us, and a young player, good lad in the dressing room, great attitude. He's the sort of player that you want to be keeping at the thankfully Jake agreed to stay with us, and we're really pleased to have him.
Found a bit of transfer news. Ben Whitfield's got a trial at Huddersfield Town, just showing how much talent there is with the academy.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent within the academy. Obviously Ben's been the one that has stood out so far, but we've had Luke Porritt involved, Kyle Harrison's been involved, Dane Hodgson's been training with us as well, amongst others. So there are a few in that academy that if they keep progressing the way they are, then hopefully they'll be able to come into contention for the first team. We'll certainly keep our eye on them and make sure they're progressing like we hope they will.
And finally, what is your score prediction for today?
I'm not making any predictions today. Just tell the lads to go out there, do the best they can, do the jobs that we ask them to do, and if they do that like they have been doing the last few weeks, there's a good chance it'll be a positive result. So that's what we'll be asking for.
Thanks.
Well, that was Mark Bauer talking to Tom Feaheny before this afternoon's game. A great interview there, Tom. Well done. Fascinating to hear his views and his reticence to give a score prediction. Obviously, is such a key game and one that he'll want to get revenge after that poor performance back in October.
Well, yeah, indeed. I think, for Bauer, it's all about keeping that unbeaten run going. When you look at the fantastic performance that Guiseley have been able to go on this run, the amount of clean sheets as well, I think it's a case that if Guiseley can just keep a clean sheet today, you know what, I'd take a 0-0 right now, because I just think it's all about keeping that run going and then looking forward to Harrogate Town on Boxing Day. Yeah,
and of course at Harrogate Town we'll have another crunch encounter against the past had, but do tweet us if you are receiving us on our Twitter account, which is at Guiseley Radio. Anyway, let's just go through the Altrincham side. Stuart Coburn in goal, Sean Densmore, the captain, Adam Griffin, Carl Rogers, Gianluca Havern, Scott Leather, Gregory Wilkinson, Simon Richmond, Kyle Perry, James Walshaw and Nicholas Clee. Some very impressive players in that starting 11. The centre-half, Gianluca Havern, one of the ones that I think will be to watch this afternoon. And, of course, our Wally, who will be also one for us to do. In terms of their bench, Matthew Doughty, Brian Smeekle, Damian Reeves, now there's a name on the bench, Tom Marshall, who was signed this week from Stafford Rangers, and James Lorry. Quite a impressive lineup Altrincham have, haven't they?
Well, yeah, it's fantastic, and when you look at someone of Damian Reeves' ability to be on the bench, if they're a goal down with half an hour to go, you bring Damian Reeves on, he can change a game. He's such a fantastic talent. I'm still surprised he's at Altrincham at this level. He should be playing at a league higher. What a fantastic player he is, and of course James Walshaw starting the game. He's been a fan's favourite for Altrincham, and I've got a bad feeling he might be getting a goal or two today at Nevermore.
Yeah, very much so, haven't we? He's not one you want to see back. Guiseley, of course, line up with a few changes. Steven Drench is in goal as ever. Andy Holdsworth, Reese Maynell. Number 4 shirt today is Ben Parker. Jake Lawler, Danny Hall, Wayne Brooksby, Michael Potts, Alex Johnson. There's a start for the loanee Luke Parkin and Gavin Rothery. And then on the bench today, Kyle Harrison, Ben Whitfield, Craig Hobson, Louis Swain and Stephen Dickinson. What do you make of that lineup, Tom?
Well, I'm not shocked that Luke Parkin's been given the chance, because he's impressed so much, with the Leeds United youth side. The only worrying thing is the bench, because when you look at it, there's 3 attacking players, only 1 defender, and not really, a defensive midfielder on that bench. But I do feel that Guiseley, they've got enough in that starting 11, and if they can make it'll be a case of hopefully Guiseley extending this run and getting another 3 points.
Well, thank you, Tom. Tom, you're now resuming Twitter duties, I understand, for the first half, and so he'll be fully conversed with computer duties. We're going to hear from Nik Keefe. Losers briefly. We had a power cut. We seem to be having an awful lot of power cuts at the top end of the stand here. So do let us know if you are picking us up at Guiseley Radio. Wonderful. And we always appreciate your comments, so do keep them coming. The 2 teams are now out on the pitch. We've gone through the team lineups. We've heard some of the changes. Nick, what are you expecting from this afternoon's fixture?
I'm expecting a close game, to be honest. I came to the ground with maybe a bit of a bad feeling about this one. Maybe it's the memory of the Altrincham home game and the way that we. Or maybe it's the absence of Boschel, Lockwood, Ray, Forrest, who've been such a huge part of the team that's been doing so well and been unbeaten now for 6 clean sheets in a row in the league, as I'm sure you've said it already in the build-up. However, the team that's out here is strong and it's versatile. We've got players who can play in 2 or 3 different positions. So I appreciate the absence of proper sort of full midfielders on the bench. But we've got Ben Parker who can play a bit of defence, Jake Lawler in midfield who can play a bit of defence, and we've got Andy Holdsworth who could always come in and do a job and move around. So I think they've got enough to keep 11 players in 11 positions they can actually play. And Ben Whitfield to get an opportunity to come on if needed later in the game.
And on the yellow, Rebecca Welch. Guiseley, of course, in the white, shooting towards the railway off. It certainly looks that way. And Jake Lawler
in the centre of defence is Ben Parker, and a good communicator as well, and that's going to be crucial this afternoon.
Well, Guiseley get off to a bright start. They've just earned a free kick just inside the Altrincham half, about 10 yards from the centre circle. Gavin Rothery skipped past one man. Michael Potts did well as well. and then was just pulled down. This is an early chance here to get the ball in the area.
A big game today for Michael Potts, isn't it? Jack Ray's had a very good season so far, and as I say that, unfortunately he gets the ball and loses it. But I think it's a big afternoon for him. Jack Ray's reputation has grown more and more since Danny Boschel returned. The two of them have obviously been so good together in that defensive midfield position. So he's going to be keen to impress, because he's got a couple of weeks to try and nail down a starting position in the Guiseley team.
Well, the free kick has been conceded. Potts it was who conceded it. It's taken inside the Altrincham half and sent long down the right-hand side here with Densmore. Densmore beaten to it by Reeves Maynell, and then Alex Johnson and Gianluca Haven are having a bit of a tussle on the halfway line. Guiseley win the ball back, and certainly a physical one, and it looks like that's going to line up to be an interesting battle this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Two physical players. I'm relishing seeing that already. Just on that little taster, that's going to be fascinating to watch who comes out on top in there. And I'm sure there'll be free kicks given both ways when they're competing for the ball.
Guiseley have a throw inside their own half. Reeves Maynell sends it infield. Nicholas Clee was looking lively there, almost robbed the ball in the middle of the park, but Guiseley recover possession. Now it's with Wayne Brooksby up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson goes head-to-head with Scott Leather. Leather sends him out to the touchline, but Johnson wins it back into the feet of Brooksby. Brooksby back here to Johnson on the edge of the area, takes a shot with the left foot. It's tame, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Nicky Clee was one of the Altrincham players who really impressed me in their game on the right. I know Guiseley's defence wasn't then what it is now, but on the left, sorry, for Altrincham that day, he was really dangerous and getting in behind Jack Ray. It was, I think, playing at right back that day, but he was getting in behind the Guiseley defence over and over again.
Goal kick's taken. It's flicked on by Kyle Perry, but only to the feet of Michael Potts. Potts takes it down over the halfway line. He's pulled down and earns his side a free kick. And Guiseley once again can get some bodies forward. Good early scurrying there from Potts.
Yeah, he's trying hard, isn't he? He's just got to be careful. He's not too amped up, but he's got to bring a lot of energy. And he's just got to make sure that with that he's composed on the ball and he's picking out the right passes.
Well, it's one of those moments guys who get players for, they really do. Steven Drench, right on the halfway line, takes the free kick. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Maynell's touch deserts him. And it's tamely knocked out into touch for an Altrincham throw. Big build-up there. Disappointing finish.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But right idea. Every Guiseley player, apart from Drench, in the Altrincham half.
Potts just gets ahead on the throw-in and lofts it over the stand. So we just have to wait for another ball to return. It's a great fixture, this, isn't it? The Saturday before Christmas. There's a great atmosphere. There's a really good crowd out here at Nethermore. It's a great place to be. Yeah, there's a lot of people who've clearly skipped the Christmas shopping to be here. It is a good turnout. Who would have done that? Guiseley now concede possession inside their half. They can make a counter-attack here. Wayne Brooksby picked up the ball briefly. Simon Richmond closed him down so well. Excellent defending from the Altrincham midfielder, and again gets another head on it just on the halfway line. Ball goes dead on that far side when it hits the ground. It's obviously been a lot of water on this pitch, and now Altrincham move the ball up into Guiseley's half, but a good piece of defending there from Jake Lawler. Picks the ball out to Gavin Rothery. Rothery concedes, and now it's down here to be a Altrincham throw. And with that throw, Guiseley now have to defend it just in front of their dugout, down the left-hand side. Altrincham take the throw. Central to Richmond, back over the halfway line. Densmore lofts a long one forward, looking for James Walshaw and Perry. Well won, though, by Ben Parker. Into the feet of Jake Lawler, and then upfield by Maynell. Haven wins the tackle. Looks like he might have gone through the back of Alex Johnson, or at least that's the crowd from the crowd. Referee dismisses away the appeals, and then Guiseley launch a long one down the left flank, which is easily defended by Haven. A couple of loose touches there from Guiseley midfielders.
Yeah, neither team actually bringing it down and moving it around in midfield particularly well yet, and I think the pitch is part of that.
Walshaw, the target man this time, but he's muscled off the ball by Danny Hall, and then the ball's helped out here to Wayne Brooksby on the right-hand side. He can't get past his man. Does earn a throw, though. Good work from Nicky Clee. Throw comes in from Holdsworth into Brooksby, rather. And Altrincham win the ball back. And again, their passing's not so hot, and they've just knocked the ball out into touch. And I think your call about the pitch is a fair one. Well, the ground staff have done excellent work in getting this game on today. But we've had some tremendous amount of rain and difficult conditions in recent weeks. Yeah,
and because of the amount of rain, I think they've not been able to get the heaviest tools and rollers and things onto the pitch to even the surface out. I confess I was a bit surprised when the academy game was called off on Tuesday, but apparently there was standing water even then, and even at that stage they were potentially concerned for today's game. So it's good that it's going ahead, really, but it is going to cause some problems.
Guys, he had a free kick on the halfway line. They've had to knock it all the way back to the goalkeeper, and then played forward, and the first sort of sign of Luke Parkin on the ball as he wins it and then sends it back to Rhys Maynell. Drench has the ball inside the end of their half. We're a bit compressed up here in the press box this afternoon. We've got both club radio stations working hard. Now Guiseley have just won themselves a free kick. Alex Johnson's gone to ground, and the referee is calling someone over. Nick, what did you make of that?
Yeah, exactly what we were talking about. Actually, Johnson gets with his back to goal. He gets involved with defenders. I thought he was brought down there myself, but we'll see some go either way today. This one I think was a Guiseley free kick.
Well, the referee's actually taken time to talk to Scott Leather, the number 6, the centre half for Altrincham, so he's obviously not happy with the way he's entered into that challenge. Guiseley now have a free kick. It's about 10 yards up from the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Wayne Brooksby lines this one up. 6 white shirts all on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball goes in. A good flick on there, and I think it's Alex Johnson who got the final touch, and it's gone into the goal. Guiseley have the lead. A wonderful start for the Lions. Alex Johnson the scorer. It's Guiseley 1, Altrincham 0.
Absolutely what you'd hope for from the free kick. It was an excellent delivery right into the 6-yard area where all the bodies were there, and it found a Guiseley man, and it's straight into the far corner of the net. No chance for the keeper. Straight across goal with the one touch, and the perfect start for the Guiseley home fans.
Well, what a great start to this game. In a very similar position though to the game back in October that Guiseley last lost, which was the reverse of this fixture, a 4-1 trouncing. And in the first half of that game, Guiseley had led 1-0 and actually had looked quite comfortable in the first period.
One or two Guiseley players were vilified after that. One or two who are here, one or two who aren't anymore. But the truth is, what we saw was a team absolutely bereft of confidence, and it was like tapping a china ornament with a hammer, and the whole thing fell apart for Guiseley in the second half. They're not like that now, but they are going to have to defend.
Yeah, James Walshaw picks up the ball. Great tackle there from Danny Hall to take it away from him. Alex Johnson gets the ball on the halfway line. Well won back now by Altrincham, who seem to have woken up since the goal and now come forward here with Richmond into the feet now of Perry. Perry onto the left-hand flank, sends the ball out to the width, and Andy Holdsworth has to step across and make an important challenge, but at the expense of a corner.
Finding it quite strange seeing James Walshaw here at Nethermore. I think the team sheets described this as a marine or an aqua-coloured shirt, but either way, it doesn't look right, and he's in there making a nuisance of himself, getting up against Steven Drench and doing exactly what you'd expect him to do.
10 minutes gone. Altrincham have a corner now. Whipped in now towards a penalty spot, headed over by Scott Leather, behind for a goal kick. The danger passes, and it was a dangerous moment because there were plenty of tall, powerful-looking players in that penalty area for Altrincham. But if you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio, the news is good. The Lions have the lead, but we're only 10 minutes into the match. Alex Johnson scored it on the 8th. Great free kick from Wayne Brooksby, but a great header from Johnson. Flicking the ball past the goalkeeper, Stuart Coburn, and into the top left-hand corner of the pitch. And now Guiseley have a free kick on the halfway line. At the moment, things are looking positive.
Well, I think what's just working for Guiseley at the moment is Altrincham playing a straight 4-4-2 is Guiseley with Gavin Rothery dropping deep have just got an extra person in there, and although they haven't been brilliant in possession yet, they've got people in there to break up play and get a foot in.
Reese Maynell sends the ball long up to the edge of the area where Johnson gets it, plays it back into the feet of Jake Lawler. Bit of a gust of wind appears from nowhere in here in the press box. Guiseley still keep the ball moving forward here with Brooksby. Brooksby beats his man, goes to the byline, gets the ball back across the face of goal, but too high, too much power. Parkin has to stretch to try and keep that in, but he can't do so. And it's gone out into touch. And it's out for a throw-in, in fact, to Altrincham on this right back position.
Yeah, he scampered across trying to keep that in, didn't he, Parkin? And when you get a player coming down from one of the pro clubs, particularly someone as high up in the pyramid as Leeds up in the Championship, it's important that when you get a player into a club here that they show the same work ethic as the people are around, and he's looked willing and full of running so far, yet to get into the game, but it's all about first impressions, and at the moment he's chasing everything that comes his way.
Well, Tom Feaheny told me before the game that he spoke to him yesterday, and that he's been told, get some goals and you'll be knocking on the door of the Leeds squad, so he's got plenty to prove while he's here with us. Plenty of motivation too, but guys, you have to defend at the moment. Gregory Wilkinson picks the ball up for Altrincham. Into the feet now of Rogers. Carl Rogers lays it out to the left-hand side, down the left flank, looking for James Walshaw. The referee's assistant on this near side, though, has the flag up, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley. And every time you see Wally on the end of a pass, you just think, oh no, not again.
Well, we know all too well how good James Walshaw is, don't we? And both as a Guiseley fan from the years of watching him in his multiple stays, but obviously most recently that heartbreaking hat-trick just on the first week of October, the 5th of October, I think, wasn't it? And he's doing great for Altrincham. He's right at the top of the scorers charts, and he's on the ball again now. Yes,
Altrincham pick up the ball here, send it in towards the feet of Walshaw. Over him, finds Richmond on the left side. Plenty of bodies in the area. Walshaw gets on the end of it, blocked on the 6-yard line. And in the end, Parkin can't clear. And Densmore comes in with a good challenge on him. Guys, he's still having to defend deeply here, but a long shot from Adam Griffin, who's making his first start for Altrincham this weekend, has gone wide, and the Lions can breathe a sigh of relief.
That's a mistake Luke Parkin won't want to make too many times in his young career, picking up the ball just inside his area with players scrambling left and right. He just needed to clear it, and he started running across goal with it, and was robbed. So need to get it clear a little bit quicker next time, but no harm done.
Free kick now, because there's another offside flag. Walshaw asks the question of the referee's assistant on this near side, and we're just going to have a little bit of time because Altrincham thought they'd won the ball back, but we hadn't even taken the free kick.
Yeah, Wally's not happy with the referee's assistant over on this side, and she's caught him offside a couple of times already, and with Wally up against Ben Parker, I get the impression that Ben Parker might not be quite such a volatile character. I think he might just be a little bit calmer and a little bit less seduced by Wally's attempts to wind him up. So we'll keep an eye on that.
What are you saying, Nick? I have no idea.
Only based on experience. I say it in a fond remembering way of watching him do it here all these years.
The ball goes forward and is well defended by Altrincham. Back into the Guiseley half. Potts picks it up, sends it long down the right-hand side. This time, Leather leaps above Alex Johnson, knocks it out into touch once again. Another throw, taken into the feet of Gavin Rothery this time, back to the halfway line. Holdsworth sends it down the right, looking for Johnson. Johnson getting a lot of physical attention from Leather. Picked up now by Gavin Rothery. Good work from Rothery. Holds on to the ball, sends it back to Potts. Potts switches play, or tries to, but well watched, and headed away, back as far as Jake Lawler. Laid into the feet of Parkin. Parkin's beaten to it this time. Parkin gets another look at the ball this time. Beaten once again by Wilkinson, but it falls now to Alex Johnson. Johnson sends it to the left, intelligently to Gavin Rothery. Gets into the area. Rothery sends the ball across. Well, it goes into the chest, and there's a bit of a shout for hands of Gianluca Haven, and it's gone behind for a corner.
He couldn't really get out of the way of it. His arms were right down by his side. I think it caught him on either the point of the elbow or on the forearm. You can't give a penalty for that, really.
A rather meek claim for a penalty, or a penalty shout anyway it was. Brooksby has the corner anyway on this left hand side, takes it into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Back here to Brooksby now, gets the ball in, goes towards the back post, up is Jake Lawler, beaten to it, headed away. Now the counter attack is on here. Adam Griffin can send it forward. He's got Nicky Clee up there, and also Greg Wilkinson, but Wilkinson isn't able to get ahead of Gavin Rothery. Ball sent long now up towards Alex Johnson by Steven Drench. Well, calmly headed by Haven, and then Densmore tidies things up for Altrincham. Up towards Wally, he's beaten to it by Mainel. Back the other end of the pitch into the feet of Alex Johnson. The game's sort of opening up a bit here. Brooksby sends it straight into the feet of Nicky Clee. Now Clee can have a run at Brooksby, goes past him to the edge of the area, takes a shot, blocked well by Danny Hall, only at the expense of a corner. But a tame pass there from Brooksby gives an opportunity to Altrincham.
He just got a bit ambitious there, actually, did Brooksby. There was a really good pass on that would have opened the far side of the field up to him, but it just wasn't available. There was an Altrincham player in the way, and he was a bit rash to make the pass. Clee, though, turned him inside and out when he had it at his feet, and he does look dangerous, doesn't he, when he's got the ball.
Corner now to Altrincham on the left-hand side as they attack the Guiseley goal. Another dangerous one whipped in right into the back of the net, and it's finally knocked home. And Guiseley are pegged back to level terms, and I'm not quite sure who actually got the final touch, but it was a corner that was whipped into the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's now Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1. And I think it was the centre-half Gianluca Haven who's got the leveller, but that's not what we were hoping for. With the goal to the good, Nick, surely would have been hoping to hold on to that lead for a little while longer. Yeah, absolutely, and it all came about just because of a bit of over-ambitious play. The game had opened up, and Guiseley just fell into the trap and got a bit over-ambitious. So they start at level terms, and they're going to have to go again and try and get the lead again in this game. Corner one from Wayne Brooksby's loose ball, but Guiseley have given Altrincham a real wind up their sails. Walshaw chasing everything down. Steven Drench having to watch the run of Wally, but gets onto it and launches it forward. Now Guiseley have the ball with Gavin Rothery, tries to run at it. There's 3 players around him, feeds the ball into Alex Johnson in the area, takes a shot, blocked well by Haven, goes behind for a corner. Good work from Gavin Rothery there. Really good move. He held on to it just long enough. He drew 3 men over towards him and then threaded it through for AJ in the area, and he had a good shot, to be fair, but it was blocked well by one of the remaining Altrincham defenders. Well, the FA Cup game in the early 2000s was a high-scoring one. Could this one be? Guiseley take the corner. It's punched away by Coburn. Back in by Potts. It's going to evade everyone and go behind for a goal kick. 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. 1 each it is here. The Steven Drench goal clean sheet run is at an end, but it's been an incredible run anyway. And well, 6 clean sheets in the league, isn't it? The only time Guiseley have conceded for an awfully long time was the Selby Town County Cup game, which was a team of of reserves and people working on their match fitness and stuff. So we don't really place too much on that. To be honest, I nearly got a game. Yeah, it was getting to the stage where I think if Craig Hobson had missed 3 or 4 dozen more chances against Selby, that you might have been called on up front. So Carl Rogers just making a run here for Altrincham. Things turn a little bit more serious, and he's well blocked. Fortunately, he was just beginning to look to attack with some intent. Back here to Reese Mainel though now. Ben Parker with the ball in the back 4, looking to play this one long. It's going up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson's pushed over by Haven. I don't think there could be any question about that, but intelligent work there from Alex Johnson. He just went behind his man, didn't he? And then came back in front of him and was clearly bundled over. Yeah, very clearly. I think Haven's actually got the beating of Alex Johnson for strength, and in that physical tussle, he's got to be careful he doesn't do that too many more times, because if he comes at Johnson from behind and he's got the ability to bundle him over, then it will look like a foul, because it's a fair tussle. Brooksby with a free kick, whips it in straight to the goalkeeper. Coburn holds on to that. I didn't explain that point at all well. What I mean is if Haven is that little bit stronger than Johnson and he's coming at him from behind, then he is going to knock him over, and that is a foul. I still don't understand. Okay. He might get a card if he gets another foul against him. No, the ball.
What I'm saying
teasing
is,
you here. The quality of the broadcast has just gone downhill.
Maybe Haven doesn't know his own strength. That's all I'm saying. And if he keeps bundling him over, then how's that complicated?
Altrincham have the ball flicked on back here by Danny Hall. Well to Steven Drench. Descends into farce. Guiseley still 1. Guiseley 1. Altrincham 1. Midway through this this first period of this game here at Nethermore. Header away by Danny Hall. Up towards Gavin Parkin. Parkin is unable to go forward, sends it back to Jake Lawler. Jake Lawler is outnumbered in midfield. Into the feet here of Richmond. Richmond just gives it back to Parkin. Parkin sends a lovely reverse ball into the feet of Alex Johnson. Johnson's well shadowed by Gianluca Haven and actually wins the throw-in. The referee buys that, I think, somewhat.
Well, Haven's saying that in nipping the ball away from Johnson's feet, he knocked it against Johnson last before it went out of play. It didn't look like that from here, but
he just does the right thing by running towards the ball and looking to say, "Oh, it's a throw to us."
That's right.
And he's bought it. Throw's been taken. It wasn't. And the ball's now won here by James Walshaw on the halfway line. Back here to Rogers. Rogers sends it down the right-hand side into the feet of Steven Drench. And Drench has the ball at his feet on the edge of the 18-yard box. A long one forward up towards Parkin. Parkin sees that one fly over his head. Interesting afternoon for the young man from Leeds United. Into the feet now of Alex Johnson. Johnson's showing great promise since he's come to Guiseley. Having a tremendous battle with Haven there. The ball sent back to Coburn. Coburn shanks his clearance. They do well. Wilkinson holds it on and then wins the ball, takes it past Reeves Maynell, and now can start an attack down this right-hand side. Plays a lovely ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Well defended by Guiseley. Now picked up here by Potts, deep inside his own half. Tries to pass the ball out of danger, but at some point has to release it. Gives it back to Danny Hall, and then it's too long and it's over Alex Johnson. And out into touch.
Luke Parkin just looks like he's coming into the game a little bit more. He's had a couple of good touches the last few minutes. He's covering the ground. He's breathing heavily. So I think maybe this is his first ever senior first team start. Big occasion for him. We saw him kind of waving and smiling to presumably family and friends down in front of us in the stand earlier on. And he's as the first half's going on, he's just getting involved a little bit more, moving the ball about when it comes to him at his feet well, and hopefully that will carry on.
Won by Potts into the feet of Johnson. Won again by Wilkinson, but not in the same wavelength as James Walshaw. Picked up by Danny Hall. Plays forward up here towards Alex Johnson. Johnson trying to win this one back, but really well defended by Leather. And then into the feet of Griffin. Down the left-hand side by Clee. Defended well and picked up here by Brooksby. And Holdsworth eventually scoops it forward. But the ball on a very heavy pitch is difficult to control, and Altrincham come away with it this time with Wilkinson. They're getting plenty of aqua shirts forward. Wilkinson runs down this left-hand side, tries to feed in the feet of Adam Griffin. Good defending from Brooksby. Guys, they have to concede the throw-in.
Yeah, and the pitch is really heavy. You see it every time a player gets up to chase a lost ball. They're finding it really hard work out there.
Ball won now by Richmond. It's going to be played into the area. It's actually a really poor pass, and it's completely shanked. Actually, it's going completely behind for a goal kick, and that's some relief really for Guiseley there, because Altrincham were just getting into a dangerous space, had plenty of players forward. They'll be disappointed they didn't do more with that. Yeah,
it's been an even game so far, hasn't it? Very, very competitive. It could definitely go either way today, but a lot of it's been defined by not being able to pass the ball around easily in midfield, and so a lot of it's going to be knockdowns and getting to the second ball first.
Ball won here by Wilkinson, takes a pile driver from distance, bashes into Ben Parker, then plays it out wide to Clee, and then James Walshaw's offside. Referee blows for that one, even though Steven Drench has it in his hand, so he's going to have to take the kick. Again, just a sign that the quality that Altrincham have, no one can underestimate them at all tonight. At all this afternoon.
No, and I think much as we were surprised to see Damian Reeves on the bench, the inclusion of Kyle Perry looks really smart by Lee Sinnott, because he's a really big, powerful lad, and the ball isn't going to be on the floor. A lot of it's in the air already that we've seen, and he's got the physical beating of both of Guiseley's defenders.
Brooksby now has the ball on the right-hand side here. Plays a lovely ball into the feet of Holdsworth. Forward towards Rothery. Rothery having to hold on to this, shows some good footwork in difficult conditions. And then passes it a little short, straight to Clee. Clee's ball almost gave Parkin a chance. Walshaw earns a free kick off Danny Hall. And you have to say, if that one was a foul, what about the one earlier on against Leather and Johnson? But they've come away with the ball anyway, Altrincham. We'll dwell on that in a moment because Densmore's showing a little bit of danger. Plays the ball in towards Walshaw. Walshaw just playing off the shoulder of Ben Parker, and Parker so far has cut him offside absolutely every time.
Yeah, it's been like clockwork, hasn't it? The guys, the defence have stepped forward, and Ben Parker in particular, just at the right time to trap Wally offside. But we know Wally well enough to know that it's not going to carry on like that for all of 90 minutes. He's going to get in there at some point, and one-on-one with the keeper is lethal.
A long one forward up towards Alex Johnson. He slips, and it's won back by Altrincham. Played forward now, looking for Perry. Perry's just got between Hall and Drench, but Drench watched it well, and Guiseley defend well to move the ball up to the halfway line where Gavin Rothery takes over. And good football here from Guiseley. Finds Wayne Brooksby on the right hand side. He starts a run at the Altrincham defence. Goes past two, goes down, but he's no foul there. Altrincham clear. And in the end it's gone out for a goal kick. It was a bit of a shout from the home fans, but to be fair, he just overran it and then just went to ground. Yeah,
absolutely right, but a really good move from Guiseley, building out from the back, having been under pressure to pass it out from defence and make a good attacking move. First move like that we've seen really in the first half.
Maynell now sends the ball down the left-hand side. Parkin has a chance to run at this. What can he do with this? Out there is shadowed by Densmore, but does earn the corner kick for Guiseley. So it'll be a corner to the Lions on the left-hand side as they attack the railway end goal.
And Guiseley have a bit of communicating to do here, because at the moment only Andy Holdsworth has stayed back for this corner. You'd normally expect the two fullbacks. We've talked about this recently when Ben Parker's been playing in defence, where he goes or whether he stays back and Maynell goes forward. But at the moment only Andy Holdsworth is even as far back as the halfway line.
Brooksby takes the corner, whips it in towards the 6-yard box. It goes away. As everyone somehow scooped off the line and behind for another corner. Coburn didn't come for it. Johnson was in there. So was Ben Parker. And it was scooped right off the line and behind for another corner, Nick.
That's heartbreak, isn't it? It looked for all the world like that must have trickled over the line somewhere in the massive bodies there. But Altrincham hold out and it stays 1-1.
Brooksby with a corner again in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away this time at the near post. Only as far as Rothery. Now Holdsworth, the only man in a white shirt, not in the Altrincham half, and even he comes over. Long one forward into the area, up towards Alex Johnson. Headed away, now finds Jake Lawler in the area. He tries to feed in Johnson for the second ball. This time it evades everyone, and now Altrincham can start a counter-attack because Stuart Coburn has distributed it well to this left-hand side. The ball at his feet, played down the left-hand side towards Clee. Clee makes a run. Plays a good ball into the area, tries to find Perry, goes over him, and it's going to go out in the end for a goal kick. And I'm not sure Perry actually did what he needed to do in that position there. He should have gone and attacked that ball.
It looked like he'd got a shout from someone behind him to duck and leave it, didn't he? I wonder if he's bought one from one of the Guiseley defenders there. But it gives Guiseley the ball back, but way back in their own territory, and they've lost it from the throw-in.
Yeah, well won free throw-in. From an Altrincham perspective, Guiseley now have to defend well. They do. The ball's passed out to Andy Holdsworth. He plays a good ball down this right-hand side. Sends Alex Johnson away on the right, but he's got 3 men ahead of him. A lot to do yet. Skips past one. Another comes across to try to tackle. Holds it up well. Plays it out here to Wayne Brooksby. Right out onto the right touchline. Skips past his man. Gets to the byline. Plays it into the area just above Parkin. And it's gone out for a throw-in on the other side, but a good move there. A great ball from Andy Holdsworth to pick out Alex Johnson in the first instance, and good work from Wayne Brooksby as well.
Well, guys, they're starting to get into their normal playing style a little bit more now, moving the ball around at pace, using the full width with Wayne Brooksby in particular over on the right-hand side, and if they carry on with that, they'll make themselves some chances to go ahead again.
Seen Carl Perry come over on this side. He's a big old unit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be after seconds on Christmas Day, isn't he?
Ball's picked up now by Andy Holdsworth into the feet of Wayne Brooksby, and won now by Jake Lawler. Jake Lawler just overhits the pass that was directed towards Alex Johnson. It was an opportunity for Johnson to get into the edge of the penalty area, but it's in the end gone out for a goal kick, and just want to point out that it was Nick who made that comment. If Kyle Perry listens back to this broadcast,
very much in the takes one to know one category of comments, that I think.
Just thinking he looks a bit big. I wouldn't want to have to face up to him in an argument. That's all.
No, I think I'd be about elbow height to him as well, because he's tall too.
Long one forward, sent towards the head of Perry. It's gone over him and picked up well by Ben Parker. Parker now into the feet of Mainel. They hold a high line, do Altrincham, when they attack. Guys, the defenders not finding it too easy to get out of the their own third that they're defending. The throw-in taken now, up towards Jake Lawler. Now won by Parkin. Good ball from Parkin. Picks out Alex Johnson right down the left-hand side. He's just in from the touchline. Tries to go past Haven. Haven takes him down. It's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. Haven, I think, is going to be called over this time by referee Andrew Miller. I think that's going to be his talking to. But a free kick now for Guiseley in quite a dangerous position, this, Nick.
I think it'll be a very severe letting off, this one. That'll be his final one before the yellow card comes out, and I'm sure that's what the referee's saying to Haven. It was a fantastic little pass by Parkin. Again, clever little balls that he's been playing so far, and really frustrating to see Johnson brought down there, just right on the edge of the area where he looks so dangerous.
About a yard outside the 18-yard box. On the left-hand side, though, about 5 yards down towards the goal line from the corner of the angle. Wayne Brooksby can take this. There are about 6 white shirts on the edge of the 18-yard box. In towards Parkin. Parkin takes a drive. Blocked, taken back into the area by Potts, and then eventually it's cleared, bounces off at a Guiseley man and goes behind for a goal kick.
Nice idea, actually, from the free kick to fool everybody. Left Parkin, the striker, outside of the area, and he just wanted the ball just to stop bobbling a second sooner so he could get his shot away, I think.
Well, Wayne Brooksby's just conceded a free kick, confusingly, but no complaint from the Guiseley man inside the Altrincham half. Haven has it inside his own territory, and they're just stroking the ball around the back four at the moment, looking for an opportunity to go forward, and it undoubtedly will go long towards Perry, and it does. Goes over him, headed away by Parker, picked up now by Densmore. Densmore plays it in field, and then it's gone all the way back to Rhys Mainel, and then knocked back here to Steven Drench. Drench lofts one forward up to the halfway line. Good to see Danny Ellis, who's taking his place in the stand, was having a good workout before the game.
Yeah, he said he's getting closer. He still doesn't want to put a strict time limit on it, but he said he was getting closer, and Danny Forrest said he was hoping for Boxing Day as well. So we'll see a few more Dannys back in the team soon, hopefully. I'm sorry, I was going to say, I was thinking back to when we were sat with Danny at Altrincham, just as like you, when I saw him sitting down then. I'm thinking, this is a much more full-blooded contest than it was that day. You know, the guys, they've already been under as much pressure as they were that day, and they capitulated under that. And at the moment, it's a very even contest with guys they maybe having had the better of it, certainly in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Ball with Alex Johnson on the halfway line, down the left-hand side here towards Parkin. Parkin's taken down here by Densmore. A little bit like he went down to ground, I have to say, a little bit late. And it's a free kick nonetheless to Guiseley.
It took more for Haven to wrestle AJ down to the ground than it just took Densmore to bring Parkin down, we'll put it that way.
Free kick now to Guiseley, midway through the Altrincham half, taken by Mainel, lofted towards the edge of the area, finds the feet of Brooksby. Brooksby has to go back, Potts gets the ball into the area towards the edge of the 6-yard box, goes over everyone. It's going to go out for a throw-in to Altrincham, it is, right down by that corner flag, in their right-back's position. And the opportunity passes once again. Like you say, a completely different feel to this game. A very competitive match at the moment. Altrincham not in the great run of form themselves. Guiseley in a fantastic run. 1 each it is. And it's been a very enjoyable afternoon so far for both sets of fans, I would say. Very good game of football.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a cliche, but it's going to be as much as anything about which team wants it the most today. They're going to have to be brave, and they're going to have to keep working as their legs are getting sapped on this heavy pitch. But whichever one has just got a bit more mental fortitude around the 80th minute, I think they're the ones who will find themselves sneaking this.
Well, it's 35 minutes into this game. Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1. Alex Johnson's given the Lions the lead on the 8th minute. A header from a Wayne Brooksby free kick. And then Gianluca Haven got the ball over the line from an excellent free kick, corner kick at the other end. And it's currently 1 each. Coburn lofts it forward from his feet, and then it's gone forward, and James Walshaw's gone to ground, and then his side a free kick taken short into Densmore. Densmore has to go back here to Wilkinson. Wilkinson being shadowed by Parkin, and then Jake Lawler steps across, wins the ball. Mainel clears up to the halfway line. Alex Johnson gets it to feet, shadowed well by Haven, plays the ball into the feet of Potts though. Potts has a few options, tries to go past his man, loses out. The tackle actually finds the ball into Rothery. Rothery now out to Brooksby. Brooksby down to the byline. He tries to get the cross in, and it's cut out and gone out for a corner.
Great work by Johnson again for Guiseley, but in the end the Altrincham player made the pass that Michael Potts should have made about 2 or 3 seconds earlier, but in tackling him did exactly what Potts should already have done.
Corner to Guiseley though, and another chance to get this ball in. There's quite a gust building up here. You can see from the Altrincham flags that are over there by that corner flag, they're really moving around in the wind down there. And it's going to be on the right hand side. Referee just sorting out a couple of things inside the 6-yard box. Guys, he came close to scoring from the last corner. This one goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away and kept in now by Danny Hall. Well, no, he opts to leave it because it was an Altrincham head that touched it last, so it's going to be a Guiseley throw.
Yeah, it's a good flag that. Alty A.F.C. hating Mac since 1903. So they've actually chosen quite a poetic way of insulting presumably Paul McCartney, who is himself a well-known lyricist. So it's a good flag.
In other news, guys, you've just conceded the possession, and it's gone back to Stuart Coburn.
It rhymes better than the one that says Moss Lane, Altrincham FC, Cheshire. That's much more of a factual one.
I like to see a flag.
And less polemical.
You can tell you've got a teacher up here in the crowd. Now, guys, they have won the ball back as Altrincham moved it into their territory. Potts concedes possession, and now it's well won here with Wilkinson taking over from Cleag. Wilkinson goes infield, earns a free kick as Gavin Rothery comes in late. It was a poor challenge, and now it's a free kick will be given here to Altrincham. They're sort of midway inside the Guiseley half, and this is a very dangerous position.
Yeah, rightly they've got Clee who looks like he's lined this up. Actually, it looks like Greg Wilkinson might.
Clee whips this one in up towards the penalty spot. Good head from Jake Lawler. It's going to be tied up here by Parkin. He lofts it forward, but concedes possession. It wasn't the ball that really was needed. It's going to be sent straight back in here by Richmond, and then over Perry, and straight to Steven Drench. You'd expect at some point. Actually, I'm not sure if it really is working with Perry as they'd have wanted. A bizarre offside flag just given against Alex Johnson. Can only assume the referee's assistant Daniel Woodward on that far side thought that Johnson had returned from an offside position. He was 2 yards behind his man chasing that ball.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't. The ref's assistant's seen that we haven't, but it's frustrating because Guiseley needed to clear the lines and get up to the other end of the pitch.
Now chance here for Griffin to play a long one forward. It's escaped everyone and in fact gone behind for a goal kick for Guiseley. Altrincham just look a little bit frustrated because in the last 10 minutes or so Guiseley have had the better of the chances. It might have been that after coming back from a goal behind, Altrincham would have had the wind in their sails, but it certainly hasn't worked like that so far.
Well, playing 4-4-2, you've got to use your wingers, and as it stands at the moment, Greg Wilkinson hasn't been able to get much of the ball down on this near side in front of us. In fact, I don't think Altrincham have had much of the ball down here with Densmore or Wilkinson, and so because they're not using the full width of the pitch, they're not getting it to work going forward.
Now Johnson has the ball. He got a good one from Mainel. Played it out towards Brooksby, but the ball isn't just running as true as expected, and it fell short. In the end, Michael Potts has to step across to take it away from Clee, but Clee takes a throw quickly, tries to keep this attacking momentum going for Altrincham. James Walshaw lays it back, and then another Paulpin. Parkins square now to Rothery. Rothery infield now to Reeves Mainel, who comes down the left-hand side, plays it forward towards Johnson. Johnson has 3 aqua shirts around him, so has to go back once again. And this time, a Reeves Mainel long ball is easily defended, but poorly controlled by Wilkinson, and another Guiseley throw. Maynell into the feet of Rothery. Rothery with 2 players around him. Does well. Gets it out here to Maynell. Maynell can go to the touchline and get this one in. Good delivery from Maynell in towards Alex Johnson. He had to lean back to try and get the header. He did make connection but just couldn't direct it. Did well to make the contact he did, but it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, even if it had been a yard further in and on target, it wouldn't have been enough to beat the keeper because it was just behind him, and he kind of adjusted himself well to get his forehead onto it, but it was always going to be impossible to do it with any power. But good work from Guiseley and doing exactly what we just said. They started that move over on the right, moved it over to the left. Gavin Rothery showing again what a clever player he is. He adapts to his circumstances. He's making the best of the pitch at the moment, where 1 or 2 others are labouring with it. And Guiseley have had the better of it in the last 15 minutes now.
Throw in taken by Reese Maynell after Coburn hits touch with his clearance. Forward to Johnson. To Potts into the area where Parkin goes chasing, but gives it up because Densmore was ahead and sharply off his line collects the ball.
And Reese Maynell there bellowing at the Guiseley players to get them back and into formation, reminding them that that though they've had good pressure going forward, that they need to keep lining up and keep defending stoutly.
Long one forward from the goalkeeper, looking at man Perry, and again actually it's beaten away by Hall. Long one forward now towards James Walshaw, but again he can't control it. And Potts comes over the halfway line, sends it into the feet of Rothery. Rothery skips past 1. He's got a chance here. He's got 2 on over to the either side of him. Plays it into Parkin. Parkin doesn't get the ball. It's tackled well by Densmore, and now Altrincham can counter-attack. Walshaw shadowed well by Danny Hall. Great tackle from Hall. Sends the ball in towards Johnson actually on Walshaw, and then Walshaw having to defend up to try and tackle Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby gets bundled over. Referee says an advantage. Potts still has it. So does Jake Lawler into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Rothery's taken down. Free kick here. Carl Rogers it was who came in on the back of him, and Rogers will go in the book.
Well, this is a fantastic game to watch right now, and it's really exciting, but there's going to be 1 or 2 yellow cards if challenges carry on flying in like that, and I guess that happens on a pitch like this and in a competitive game like this, but that was fantastic football to watch, that little passage of play from a new.
Well, Rogers does get the yellow card. 42 minutes gone here. Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1. Free kick to the Lions midway through Altringham's half. Central and Wayne Brooksby stands over it. Guiseley have 6 men in white shirts all waiting on the edge of that 18-yard box. Brooksby has just got to wait, and the referee blows the whistle. Brooksby scoops it into the area, only as far as an Altrincham shirt. Back to Potts. Potts gets it into the area, nodded down. Rothery almost has a sight of it. Really well defended though in the end by Haven, who's having a good game this afternoon. And Guiseley now have to watch the counter-attack. They do really well actually. Close the ball down well with Reese Maynell, and then Michael Potts picks it up here on the edge of the centre circle inside the Guiseley half, inside the Altrincham half rather. Out wide here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth forward into the feet of Brooksby, taken down by Rothery. Back to Brooksby. Brooksby right out on the touchline, does really well, finds Rothery. Rothery lays it back here to Holdsworth. Holdsworth shanks his cross, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And after such good build-up play, I'm sure the captain will be disappointed with his delivery.
It was a bit Johnny Wilkinson, wasn't it, right at the end of that move? But now I'm enjoying watching this. Particularly enjoying watching Haven versus Alex Johnson, which has been a fantastic tussle from the get-go. I think Haven getting more frustrated and managed to keep Johnson from doing his worst. He's just having a chat with his captain, in fact, Haven, talking to Sean Densmore. They're clearly finding it hard to keep track of all of these guys, the attackers, when they get forward.
You never quite relax though, do you, when James Walshaw and Perry, again, looks like players that could just turn the game in a moment. At the moment in question, though, Altrincham have the ball, and it's well, poorly played forward and picked up by Steven Drench since the goal, and a spell just after. Guiseley have been far more in control, but you cannot relax. Ball forward now from Griffin. Cleared again, only as far as Jake Lawler at the moment. Just comes over the halfway line with it, in towards Alex Johnson. Cut out well by Haven. Now forward by Rogers. Up towards Perry. Perry's offside. And he stepped back from an offside position. Well watched actually by the referee's assistant down this near side. and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley.
Yeah, she's had to give a lot of offsides in the first half, the referee's assistant, and I think that one was correct as well. I think Perry knows it too, and it's been good communication amongst the Guiseley back four. This was the back four that played against Park Avenue at their place last it was a week ago Monday, wasn't it? And then again, I think for the home game it was unchanged. And they are all on the same page as each other.
Long ball goes into the Altrincham area, easily headed away there by Haven, up towards Perry. And now is a chance for a counter-attack from Altrincham. Potts battling with Clee, but Clee wins that one, sends it down the left side. For a moment it looked like James Walshaw might just get away down that left flank. But it goes out for a throw. And Wally, characteristically, throws the ball away from Andy Holdsworth. And then the referee calls time on the first period, and it's been an entertaining first 45 minutes of football, one that Guiseley have shaded. Alex Johnson got the Lions into the perfect start. A header from a Wayne Brooksby free kick on 8 minutes gave Guiseley the lead. It only lasted 9 minutes though. Gianluca Haven converted from a corner, was on hand to head the ball home and level things. Guiseley have had slightly the better of the first half chances and began to dominate more so, but there's plenty of threat on both sides, plenty of threat from this Altrincham side that may yet come to the fore in the second period, just like it did in the first game between these two this season. But at half time here it is Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1.
Absolutely, what a fantastic first half of football that has been to watch, and any neutrals who've come in today to escape the Christmas shopping will have enjoyed it too. Could still go either way, but we worried what Guiseley would be like without Danny Boschel, without Danny Forrest, without Lockwood and Ray, and to be honest, they've been business as usual. They've looked very committed, very busy. They've been fairly decent in possession. They've looked good going forward, and overall, you could argue they deserve to go in a goal ahead at half time. However, obviously we know very well that James Walshaw only needs one chance, and if he gets three, he'll score all three of them. So still to play for. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Altrincham changing at half time. If Sinnott brings on Reeves maybe for Kyle Perry, or if he was to just tweak the shape slightly. I mean, it was in the second half at half time at Moss Lane that they brought on James Lawrie, who has apparently not had much of a season for them so far, but he was absolutely instrumental in changing the shape of the game, in getting the extra body in midfield to pull the Guiseley defenders out of position and force the midfielders to drop back deeper, and that was a lot of what undid Guiseley in the first game between these two sides in the season. So everything to play for, and a second half, a really exciting game in prospect.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And difficult though as well, because in as much as you can see the opposition are going to change things around, the temptation is to say to the lads at half time, keep going, keep doing what. Not always enough, is it? You've got to kind of anticipate how they're going to line up in that second period.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was the problem with Guiseley in those first few awkward games that Mark was in charge, same as it was in the last few before, is that when teams changed what they were doing at half time, when they tried to adapt to overcome Guiseley weren't quick enough to respond, and we saw that in Boston, we saw that at Moss Lane, and one or two other games as well. Colwyn Bay was another example of that. So he'll be in there, Mark, with the lads at half-time thinking, what's Lee Sinnott likely to try to do next, and how can we get a step ahead, and how can we maximise the good stuff that we've been doing, and add something extra as well to try and get that crucial second goal.
Well, Tom Feahany's going to take us through at the half-time break. He's going to give us all the updated scores. But just before this match, something we wanted to put out on air. We've got Robbins Radio with us today, a great outfit covering all the Altrincham games. And Tom Feahany caught up with Brian Flynn there just before this game kicked off.
So it's been a good start to the season for Altrincham, but a little dip in form at the moment. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's been disappointing. I don't think the performances have been too bad. We went out in the trophy against Leek Town, played quite well, really got the bad end of some very poor refereeing decisions on that day. They lost at Harrogate in a very good game where we gave them a 3-goal start. They took their goals really well, but I think we deserved a point in that game. Didn't quite perform at Gloucester again. Dominated the game, but didn't get anything at the end of the day, and Gloucester took their chance as well. So, we've got 4 defeats on the trot would be a bad run for us, but overall the season's going quite well.
of course, the former Guiseley player James Walshaw. Just how well has he done for Altrincham so far?
He has been superb, to be fair. He's really dangerous in the box. He's consistently scored throughout the season. He's never had a barren patch. Right from the word go, he's got going. He's done exceptionally well, and he's a big fans' favourite. And without his goals this season, I don't think we'd be anywhere near the position we are.
Of course, Altrincham got a 4-1 win against Guiseley a few months ago in Motbau's first game in charge. Do you think it'll be that same sort of game where Altrincham will be trying to exploit Guiseley's defence? Because there's a few injuries for Guiseley's defence today.
No, I don't actually. I think it was a strange game. That Guiseley, I think, were good value for leading 1-0 at the break. Altrincham just didn't perform at all first half, and then a tactical change by Leeson at half time has changed things. James Lorry to play in behind the front two changed the shape of the team, and James Lorry had his best game of the season and really changed things. And Guiseley got a bad start to the second half, and Matt Clark made a couple of bad errors. He played well in the first half, and all of a sudden, within 20 minutes, from 1-0 up, you're 4-1 down. So it was a really strange game. I don't think it'll be anything like that today, actually.
Do you think Altrincham will be there or thereabouts with a promotion place at the end of the season?
I do, but I think there'll probably be 8 or 9 teams. It seems such a tight league this year, and I'm sure in the new year teams are going to strengthen. But yeah, I think Altrincham will be there or thereabouts. But if you're 8 or 9 points off the pace, you could be in 8th or 9th position. So I think it's going to be that tight. But yeah, I do think we're going to be not too far off.
And finally, a score prediction for today.
Oh, we've never won here. It's a bit of a graveyard, is Nethermore. I'll go for 2-2. I'll go for 2-2.
Well, there was Robin's radio, and of course at half-time, that 2-2 prediction so far, it is 1-1 and a point apiece. I don't think it'd be seen as a disaster for either side if at the end of the day that is what happened. Well, if you are just joining us right now, we will be bringing you second half commentary. Nik Keefe and Colin Robertson joining you for the last 45 minutes. But during the first half then, Guiseley taking the lead in the 8th minute. Alex Johnson with a fantastic header, looping header going in. And, well, it looked like Guiseley might just be in a position where they could take advantage of that. It wasn't meant to be, as Altrincham equalised just 10 minutes later. Gianluca Haven with a fantastic header, bundling the ball in. And it has been one of them games, two sides both even. Of course, both sides last season were in the playoff places. And I think you've got to say they will be there or thereabouts this season come the end. And, well, there we go. Well, at half-time then, it's 1-1. Now looking at some half-time scores throughout the country and 1 or 2 in Scotland as well. And in the Premier League, there's one full-time. It ended Liverpool 3, Cardiff 1. He's on £200,000 a week now, Luis Suarez. He signed that new contract, 4.5-year deal, and he's earning his money. 2 goals today for him. Raheem Sterling with a goal as well. Jordan Much in the second half scoring for Cardiff. It was a consolation. Afterwards, interesting notes, Malky Mackay applauding the Cardiff City fans, of course. That damning email from the Cardiff City owner saying resign or be sacked. The rest of these scores in the Premier League are now half-times, and Crystal Palace, who have gone on that little surge of run, they've gained a few points here or there. Of course, Maron Shamak, Tony Peelis has got him scoring. Miracles can happen. And at half-time, though, Crystal Palace, it's 2-0 to Newcastle United. Johan Cabaye and a Danny Gabardon own goal, the difference in that game. Fulham 0, Manchester City 2. Yaya Toure and Vincent Kompany with them 2 goals. The big news from that game, though, is Joe Hart has been recalled to the starting of 11, and he's made a number of key saves against Adel Taarabt. Half-time at Old Trafford, and Man U just can't seem to win at Old Trafford. Well, now they seem to be in a position where that might just happen. Them 3 points may be coming home. Manchester United are 2-0 up against West Ham. Danny Welbeck, another player who couldn't get a goal for all the love in the world a few weeks ago. That's now 3 in 2 games in the Premier League. He got on the score sheet, and then Adnan Januzaj with the second. It's 0-0 between Stoke City and Aston Villa. Also 0-0 between Sunderland and Norwich. And West Bromwich Albion, they sacked their manager this time last week. Well, it doesn't seem to be working right now, as Hull are taking the lead there. Jake Livermore with the goal at the Hawthorns, and West Brom are a goal down. In the Sky Bet Championship, 1 full-time, QPR losing 1-0 to Leicester City with Joey Barton, the man who's always in the headlines, and of course the cousin of former Guiseley striker Josh Wilson. He got sent off late on. Some of these scores now, all the rest are half-time. And it's Birmingham 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Bolton 1, Charlton 1, Brighton 0, Huddersfield Town 0, Burnley 1, Blackpool 1, Derby 1, Doncaster 0, Ipswich 0, Watford 0. Big local derby this. Leeds United 0, Barnsley 0. Of course, new management at Barnsley, and it'll be interesting to see just what effect that can have. Talking about the effect of a new manager, Reading 0, Wigan 2. That'd be a massive 3 points to Wigan, who under Owen Cole really starting to play negative football. Uwe Rosler's bringing back that passing style. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bournemouth 2, and the final score in the Sky Bet Championship is it's Yeovil 0, Blackburn 0. In the Scottish Premier League, Celtic gained a big 2-0 win against Hearts in a game they really did dominate throughout, with Chris Commons and James Forrest getting the 2 vital goals in the end, and it's another 3 points for Neil Lennon's man. The rest of the SPL scores, it's Dundee United 0, Ross County 0, Hibernian 0, St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 1, Partick Thistle 0, Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0. In the Sky Bet League 1, these are all half-time scores. It's Crewe 1, Shrewsbury 0, Leyton Orient 1, Crawley Town 2, MK Dons 3, Port Vale 0, Notts County 0, Bristol City 1, Oldham 0, Colchester 2. And this was always going to be a big test for Bradford City. Well, they are losing at the moment 2-0 to Peterborough. And of course, Peterborough just seem to be going on a little run now. They went on a disastrous run not that long ago where they couldn't buy a victory. Now they just seem to be hitting form. And Bradford City, it was always going to be a tough tie. Well, they are losing at the moment. The rest of the half-time scores in Sky Bet League 1, Preston 0, Brentford 2, Rotherham 2, Wolves 1. That'd be a massive win for Rotherham United, of course. Wolves, who have got to be seen as one of the promotion favourites. At the moment, they've just gone on a little run where they're not getting the 3 points that maybe they've earned. Stevenage 0, Sheffield United 0, Swindon 0, Coventry 0, and Walsall 1, Carlisle 0. In the Sky Bet League 2, all these scores are half-times. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Portsmouth 0, Dagon Red 0, Torquay 0, Fleetwood 0, Cheltenham 1, Hartlepool 0, Burton 1, Mansfield 1, Accrington Stanley 0. And of course we are in December. We're not that far off Christmas, only a few days to go. So no surprise that there is a postponement. Newport County v Wimbledon was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. And of course the fantastic work that Guiseley's ground staff have done, because there was rain here in the region on Thursday and Friday, so the work they've done is fantastic for this game to be on. It's Northampton 0, Wickham 2, Plymouth 1, Bury 0, Scunthorpe 2, Morecambe 0, and York City 0, Oxford United 0. In the Skrill Conference Premier, it's Aldershot 2, Tamworth 0, and of course Guiseley will be playing Aldershot. They'll be going there in just under a month's time in that big FA Trophy game. 0, Dartford 1, Braintree v Macclesfield was postponed. It's Chester 2, Lincoln City 1, Halifax 0, Hereford 1, Cambridge 0, Hyde 0, Barnet 0, Luton 3, Gateshead 0, Nuneaton 0, Woking 0, Salisbury 0, Southport 0, and Welling 1, Wrexham 1. And then finally, these are some of the half-time scores in the Skrill North, and Telford 0, Brackley Town 1, Barrow 0, Solihull Moors 2, Leamington 2, Leamington 0, North Ferriby United 0, Colwyn Bay 3. That'd be a massive result for Frank Sinclair's men. Stalybridge Celtic 2, Boston United 1, and Phil Marsh has got on the score sheet in that game. Of course, it'll be interesting to just see what will happen with him. And the final two scores is it's Vauxhall Motors 1, Hendersford Town 0, and Worcester City 1, Harrogate Town 0. Well, they are all the scores at half-time, and of course now the big hope is that Guiseley can get all 3 points in this big game. At the moment it is Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1, and going back now with the players on the pitch and the referee placing the ball on the spot as James Walshaw has a quick word with the referee. He will be one of the men kicking off, and I'm going to be joined with Colin Robertson and Nik Keefe.
Thank you, Tom. We are going to see an Altrincham substitute. They are taking off Greg Wilkinson and replacing him with that man James Lorry, who of course came on in the reverse fixture and was one of the changes that made such a difference. And whilst that substitute is going on, We just wait for the referee to count the number of players on the field and get the game back underway. Just a reminder of the Guiseley side: Steven Drench this afternoon, Andy Holdsworth, Rhys Maynell, Ben Parker, Jake Lawler, Danny Hall, Wayne Brooksby, Michael Potts, Alex Johnson, Luke Parkin, Rothery. The referee gets us underway. And Guiseley kicking now from left to right, where we watch it from the main stand. Get the ball forward, and Haven returns it long into Guiseley territory, and Lawler is forced into an error. Walshaw gets a shot, takes a deflection, has to be well saved by Steven Drench. A good effort from James Walsh. Takes a deflection. Drench has to watch it as it looped in towards the goal, but gets a firm palm on it to send it behind.
Heck of a save that, wasn't it, from Steven Drench? And I think we must be getting good at this, Colin, because exactly what we were talking about before half-time is what Altrincham have done for the second half.
The corner comes in short and is cleared, but from distance there from Clee goes behind. He was a good 35 yards from goal. It would have been a wonder goal had it gone in, but it wasn't. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nick. I mean, we were just saying there, you know, that James Lowry for Wilkinson was exactly the change, weren't we? Just at the end of that second half, and we were hoping that wouldn't happen, and lo and behold, what happens?
Well, Wilkinson didn't have the best of first half, so we said he was struggling up against Rhys Maynell and not really able to use the full width of the pitch, and looked like Altrincham needed an extra body in midfield to get some of these second phase balls, and so that's what they've brought Lowry on for.
Holdsworth sends the ball down the right hand side, and Brooksby's looking for it. It's picked up now by Brooksby. Holdsworth square now to Lawler, who takes the return ball, dinks it into the edge of the 18-yard box, looking for Brooksby on the edge of the area from a good ball from Rothery. Lawler keeps the ball ticking over, sends it out towards Maynell, and then Maynell, a long one in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, is beaten away. Good header from Danny Hall. Danny Hall has to beat Perry, and Altrincham pick up the second phase here with Richmond. In field now to Lowry, and then Lowry's touch is a little heavy, and it goes out into touch for a throw to Guiseley.
And I did mention James Lowry to some of our colleagues from Robins Radio beforehand, and they were saying he's not been that influential actually for Altrincham in the season, other than in the game against us, obviously at Moss Lane, where he came on at half time. So they're hoping he'll repeat his performance of that day and have a similar effect on the shape of the game.
Clee has the ball for Altrincham inside their own half. Lovely little chip to Clee from Griffin. Down the left-hand side, looking for James Walshaw. Cut out by Hall. Picked up by Holdsworth. Long one from the captain, looking for Alex Johnson. Well dealt with this time by Haven. Rothery collects the second phase, though. Comes down the right-hand side. 3 players around him. Has to go back to Brooksby. Rothery takes it infield. Again, can't make any headway. Long one forward from Holdsworth in the end, but Haven watches it, rather cumbersomely knocks it out into touch for a throw into Guiseley.
Yeah, guys, they've had a bright start again to the half, and the trick for them is going to be capitalising on any chances that do come their way, because as the game goes on at 1-1, this has got the potential to get quite tense.
Ball in from Holdsworth is cut out well by Clee. Clee plays a great ball in here to Lowry. The danger man comes over the halfway line, sends it out to the right-hand side. Well cut out, though, by Parkin. Good work back from the youngster. Takes it away from Densmore, the Altrincham captain, who was charging down the right-hand side on the counter-attack. Now Altrincham have the ball inside their own territory. A long one forward, looking for Perry. Over him, headed away by Parker, but now picked up by Densmore. Densmore and Perry combine. The ball keeps coming here with Lowry. Now Clee. Still 30 yards from goal. Clee plays it long, looking for Walshaw or Perry, who occupied the same space. And it's gone behind and past them into the feet of Maynell. And now Potts tries to play the ball out. Plays it into the feet of Rothery, who has an awful lot of work. 3 players around him. And now Parkin, good little show of skill. Gets past 2 men, but can't find the final ball. Gavin Rothery wins the ball here. Goes in for a challenge here. Very aggressively challenged, and the referee has gone straight to the book and has picked out a yellow card for Gavin Rothery. And after 49 minutes, the first Guiseley player goes into the book there, but that was a bit of a moment, wasn't it, there, when Gavin Rothery went in for that tackle.
Yeah, I agree with the referee's decision as well. The ball came to Rothery and his first touch just put it in front of him, and so he's dived or he slid in to retain or regain the ball. But it was a real strong challenge, and I don't think he really got the ball in the way that he wanted to, and that is always going to result in a yellow card. And they've got to be careful as the game goes on with the pitch like this. The ball isn't always going to be where you want it at your feet, and it's easy to get frustrated and try and do more than you're allowed to try and win it back.
He's made some good calls so far. Andrew Miller, the referee today. Laurie now takes the free kick. It's a really good one into the head of Perry. Perry should have done better with that. A lovely delivery from Laurie. Perry was free on the penalty spot, heads it behind and over the bar, and the second good chance of this second half goes to Altrincham. That's 2 in the first 5. Guys, you have to be wary.
Yeah, Perry let his head drop for a second there. He's now geeing his players up at that as a big target man sort of striker is exactly what he would have been hoping to get an opportunity like that, and he's frustrated that he couldn't do a bit more with it.
So it's a goal kick to Guiseley. In the 50-minute mark, Steven Drench launches it into Altrincham territory, up towards Wayne Brooksby, beaten away this time. Back here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth sends it into Hall, and Hall all the way back to Steven Drench, and Perry's not going to give up the ghost on this one. Drench is so confident, he just plays the ball, a lovely little ball into the feet of Ben Parker. Parker up here to Parkin, and Luke Parkin sends it back to Parker, and it's finally worked down this left flank some ways before Parkin opts to change the angles and sends it up towards Andy Holdsworth. Good play there. Holdsworth keeps the overlapping run. Brooksby finds him. Holdsworth 1-2 in towards the feet of Brooksby, just a little bit ahead of him, and Altrincham can tidy this up. They clear it to the halfway line where Danny Hall collects. Nice ball in here to Reeves Maynell now. Maynell comes on a surging run into Altrincham territory, takes a shot with the left foot, doesn't have the connection. A big shout for a corner, goes up, but referee says no. It's gone behind for a goal kick. So
it's a different pattern to what we saw in the first half, but the outcome is the same with a lot of end-to-end stuff. This time Altrincham playing the ball better on the floor. Laurie is already quite influential, but and Guiseley passing it better than they were in the first half as well. I think both teams maybe they're just adapting to the surface a little bit, but either way it's still really exciting football, and it could go either way.
Now Altrincham have the ball inside Guiseley's final third. It's here with Clee. Clee goes to ground. It goes past Holdsworth and then hits the ground. The referee's actually going to book Holdsworth here. I'm astounded by that.
That's an astonishing decision.
Clee's bought that, surely.
Yeah, he has, and I think the referee's going to want to hold on to the receipt, because when he looks at that on Boxing Day, that's a tortuous link.
Oh dear,
He's maybe going to want to take that one back.
It's dreadful.
No, what he's done, Clee, there is he's knocked it round to one side of Holdsworth, and then he's run a long route, around Holdsworth to the other side to try and meet the ball back on the other side. Absolutely no contact between Holdsworth and Clee at all, because there was clear air between them. They weren't even in touching distance of each other. I don't understand what the referee's given.
Laurie has the free kick. It's on the angle of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Whips in, overhits it, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Just deserts from that, but really shouldn't have been the booking in the first place.
The only thing you can say from...
Shouldn't have been a free kick in the first place, sorry.
The only thing you can say in defence of the referee is if he gives it, he gives a booking, because if there was a foul there, it is a yellow card foul, but the problem was it wasn't a foul.
Anyway, goal kick here to Guiseley. Steven Drench takes it, launches it up to the halfway line, up towards Michael Potts. Aerial challenge and Michael Potts don't really go together, and he doesn't win that one. He's gone out for a throw-in. Altrincham in right back position, and Altrincham certainly had the better of this second period. The opening 10 minutes or so, they've had 2 good chances, well saved from Steven Drench from a deflected shot from James Walshaw, as Walshaw gets on the ball once again on the centre circle, plays it out towards the left hand side, but cut out well by Brooksby. Holdsworth forced into sending it back. Altrincham playing a very high tempo game in that final third, closing down Guiseley every time we're on the ball. Ball falls kindly for Rogers, groans around the ground. Rogers sends a good ball in towards Walshaw, well shadowed though by Danny Hall, and again Steven Drench getting no time on the ball. The clearance has to be hurried and is picked up this time by Griffin. Now Laurie on the ball. Laurie and Jake Lawler collide on the Guiseley half. Laurie helps it forward to the edge of the D, where Perry can't keep control of it. Now Guiseley can counter-attack here with Parkin. Good surging run down this left-hand side by Parkin. Luke Parkin steps back, plays it into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Good play there. And then Rothery just loses possession under the challenge of Laurie. Rothery regains it though, then sends it down the left flank. Good ball here for Parkin if he can keep this one in. He does, but he's got Leather there to try and get past. And in the end, Leather comes out on top of that combination. Throws taken quickly. And Parkin collects and lays it back in here to Maynell. Maynell, good ball into the area. Johnson couldn't control in the first touch. Very quick into him, does with the second. Eventually it's just beaten away from him. And Guiseley still have the ball here with Brooksby in the final third. Brooksby takes a step, nobody comes close to him, takes a shot with the right foot, goes off everyone, somehow bounces into the area. Johnson tries to get on the end of it, saved with the feet of Coburn, back into the area. Brooksby goes in on the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away from him. Guiseley just can't force this one over. Now here with Rhys Maynell. Maynell gets the ball back in towards the goal area, straight into the midriff of Sean Densmore, who I think will need a wet sponge somewhere. You wouldn't want it, and it's out for a throw-in.
Yeah, he was already in pain by the time he landed, wasn't he there, Densmore? But that was fantastic stuff. Guiseley getting it into the box, and particularly with Parkin down on the left-hand side now, he looks like he's just got a little bit of extra sharpness and pace than anybody else over on that side of the pitch, and they're setting him loose. The only thing for Parkin at the moment is he's not shown any particular willingness to use his left foot, and so each time he's having to stop and cut inside a little bit, but he's got time to spare because he's so much quicker than Densmore. Throw
goes in towards Rothery. Rothery gets in towards the byline, tries to cut it back across. Well defended. This is a much needed attacking period for Guiseley, but they could do with getting this one into the Altrincham net, if anything, whilst these good opportunities come. Have a throw in, just about level with the centre circle on the left-hand side. Forward towards Alex Johnson. Skied into the sand by Scott Leather. Throwing again to Guiseley.
Frantic stuff at the moment, and it's still over there on the far-hand side in front of the home terrace fans.
Picked up now by Parkin from the throw. Tries to go past Densmore. Densmore's a wily character. He knows what to do, and he gets a foot in there. Out for another throw, about level with the 18-yard box on this left-hand side. Into the feet of Parkin. Back here to Maynell. Maynell whips a good ball in. Good header from Haven. Helps it away. Jake Lawler, the area. Looking for anyone to get on the end of it, but it's beyond everyone and back into the hands of Stuart Coburn.
Guiseley quick to line up back into formation because they know that Altrincham have got two strikers, and now Laurie, who's trying to find gaps in the Guiseley defensive midfield positions.
Clee helps it forward. Looking for Perry. And Guiseley defend well. Then a heavy touch from Brooksby sends it back towards his own goal line. Danny Hall has to tidy this one up. Sends it in towards Steven Drench. Good defending from the two of them. Drench clears up to the halfway line, but Guiseley haven't eased the pressure yet. Clee comes forward now. Holdsworth calmly gets the ball, plays it against Clee's legs, and earns Guiseley a throw-in.
Well, the tension continues to build, doesn't it? And the longer it stays 1-1, the more and more on a knife edge this game is going to go, because as you get closer to the end, obviously one goal is going to be enough to win it.
Now a foul here on Brooksby from Nicky Clee, and Brooksby looks to be in a bit of pain. I have to say it was a late challenge. I don't think it was a malicious foul, but Brooksby certainly has gone to ground, and immediately all of the substitutes are up on the other side.
Yeah, it looks,
warming up.
Sorry, Colin. It looks like his right knee or his shin. I don't think it was a malicious challenge, but it was late, and he got a bit of him, and he's up on his feet and walking again now. But with the referee having booked one or two people already, he's got no choice really but to book Clee as well. And Clee and Brooksby just sharing a polite word. I think it's good humoured anyway. As they get back into position.
Well, Nicky Clee was the man who got Andy Holdsworth booked, so perhaps there is something in this. Alex Johnson wins the ball on the edge of the area, beats past Griffin, goes onto the left foot, takes a shot from the edge of the D, but it's high and wide, and it's rather harmless. But yes, I think the referee's bought a couple of incidences there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. The referee's got to try and protect the players on a pitch like this where passes are holding up on the ground. So he is going to book people if he thinks challenges are going in late, because he's going to want to try and settle it down a little bit and stop them flying in. The problem is, I think he's one or two of them he's just got wrong.
Picked up now by Clee. Clee on the edge of the centre circle, goes back here to Griffin. Griffin looks ahead of him, plays it with the left foot up towards Perry. Perry nods down towards Walshaw. Walshaw turns his man, gets a shot away. Well held by Steven Drench. Walshaw didn't really have any power on the shot. Wouldn't have wanted to have connected with it in the way he did. But that was just an opening there for Altrincham.
Yeah, first time we've seen Wally facing goal on the edge of the Guiseley box, and it just didn't fall quick enough, and he had to take the shot slightly sooner than he would have liked, which meant he didn't get his full force behind it.
Now the ball here with Brooksby. Brooksby right in the byline, plays it infield to Potts. Potts looking for options. In the end sends it out here to Holdsworth. Holdsworth tries a lovely little 1-2. Brooksby goes down, he's got again by Clee, but Holdsworth has still got the ball, goes into the area. The referee has given, I don't know what, I think he's given a free kick.
A goal kick.
A goal kick. I thought he'd given a free kick actually, and maybe was about to get the card out for Andy Holdsworth or something, but there's a fair degree of controversy here, because there was a big shout, wasn't there, that there was a connection in the area. I couldn't call it either way, to be honest.
I'm not going to get involved after I got the Wayne Brooksby one so horribly wrong at Park Avenue the other week, but I confess I did wonder. I did sort of half expect the penalty to be given. Of course, we still have Brooksby down here getting involved in another tussle with Nicky Clee. So it's a difficult one for the referee to keep hold of. He's done a good job allowing it to be a full-blooded fixture without it getting dangerous. But it's going to get more and more difficult for him to get all of these decisions right as the game progresses at 1-1.
Well, it is a difficult one. Potts and Clee are now just having a bit of a tussle in the middle of the pitch. Potts has just faced up to Clee, and Clee and Potts are being called over. This is threatening to bubble over. Just a reflection on that moment there in the penalty area. If he decided Holdsworth had dived and that was a booking, Holdsworth would have been off. If he decided Clee had a tackle in on Brooksby, Clee's second booking, he'd have been off. I think the referee's doing well, actually, to be fair, just to try and call it and calm it down, because it's just threatening to bubble over.
Yeah, you could have booked either Potts or Clee for the handbags they were involved in midfield there, but with Clee already on one booking, and he didn't want obviously to send Clee off, so he's booked neither of them. Now here's a controversial substitution, Colin. Yeah,
I was just going to say, you might have just heard from the reaction of the crowd here that there is a substitute. It's James Walshaw who's going off. I tell you what, you might just regret cheering that, because it's Damian Reeves who's coming on. It doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, he's absolutely lethal as well, isn't he, Damian Reeves? I'm a bit surprised to see Wally go off. He's had a quiet game, but he's been doing all the hard work. He's been doing exactly what Johnston does now for Guiseley, which is working the defenders, closing down the keeper, giving nobody any time to think, and that as the game goes on, that gets really valuable as players get tired and maybe drop their concentration. So a bit surprised to see him go off, but obviously Reeves is no less dangerous.
Scott Leather has the ball in the halfway line now for Altrincham. Plays it centrally towards Laurie. Laurie tries to get the ball away to feed in Reeves for his first touch. Wasn't far off, but it was cut out well by Ben Parker. Parker's pass isn't as good, though, and goes another direction than the one that Parkin was looking for. Altrincham get the ball back into the area. Holdsworth has to get there ahead of Perry. Now on the halfway line, Wayne Brooksby can pick this one up. Starts to run with the ball down this left-hand channel. He's shadowed really well there by Griffin, and Griffin puts a quality tackle in on him. Takes the ball away. Guiseley recover possession, though. Here with Jake Lawler. Lawler and Danny Hall do well in the centre circle to hold on to the possession. And then along one forward from Reese Maynell. And good piece of play here that sets Parkin into the area. Parkin cuts inside the penalty area, tries to get a shot away, blocked well but earns a corner. And I have to say, Luke Parkin in the second period has really come out of his shell.
Yeah, you can see the benefits of training at full time, but obviously he's just come down from Leeds United this week, and he looks like he's got energy and pace to spare, and now he's getting one or two chances to actually get onto his right foot to put a ball into the box. I mean, obviously he'll be hoping to get a chance fall to him in the box at some point as well.
Corner to Guiseley. It's on the left-hand side as they attack the Altrincham goal. The ball whipped in towards that centre 6-yard box, headed away. Flick back in here. Potts. Rotherham can't get on the end of it. Altrincham could get a counter-attack going. In the end, the ball doesn't fall kindly for them, but it does for Alex Johnson. Johnson goes down towards the byline, gets the ball back across, took a deflection, in the end falls in the hands of Stuart Coburn, and the danger passes. But again, another dangerous corner whipped into the 6-yard box. Both teams playing that approach to set pieces.
It's a fabulous tussle to watch, isn't it? There's bodies flying in everywhere, and there have been all game.
Reeves just gets on the ball there. Hall steps across and takes it away from him. Another forming Altrincham man, of course, Danny Hall. There's interesting matchups all over the pitch at the moment. Sent back from Adam Griffin to Stuart Coburn. 65 minutes gone. Still Guiseley 1, Altrincham 1. Both goals in the opening 20 minutes. Potts now with the ball. Poor ball it is as well. He knows it himself. He's gone behind for a goal kick.
It was a nice idea. He was looking for it diagonally over the top to put Brooksby in behind and in a really dangerous position to square the ball for Alex Johnson, but it was just far too far ahead of him.
Big shout out to our two stalwart listeners, Mick Newton and Keith Walker. Thanks for your messages on the YouTube channel. Coming through loud and clear and bringing you news so far of a 1-1 scoreline here at Guiseley.
Yeah, the good thing is that when the equipment's working, we should be equally audible both in Leeds and in Alicante, or is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. So once we're out on the web anyway, you can hear us from anywhere.
Michael Potts has just left the ball here to Perry. Perry plays a lovely ball in here, sends Reeves. Reeves is away. Great save from Steven Drench. It's still not clear. A header comes back in there from Richmond, and Drench holds on to that. But that was almost the breakthrough there for Altrincham to take the lead. A good ball through from Perry. Reeves took a good snapshot, but a great firm palm from Steven Drench kept the ball out of the net.
And that's why Reeves is so good, isn't it? He gets a little bit extra onto every single shot that he takes, and it was a snapshot, but it was venomously struck.
Picked up now by Potts inside the Altrincham final third. Now with Holdsworth. Holdsworth plays a ball in here to Brooksby. Brooksby goes back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth plays a nice one into the edge of the area. Rotherham back to goal. Tries to turn. He's being well attended to by Leather. Sends it back to Potts, and Jake Lawler picks it up in the centre circle. Runs forward. Has he got options ahead of him? No, so he sends it square here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth could get this one into the end area. Opts to go out wide to Brooksby and go on the overlap. Brooksby cuts infield, tries to get the shot away with the left foot. Doesn't. Back by Rotherham now to Potts. Concerted pressure here from Guiseley just at the moment. Out to the left-hand side where Alex Johnson gets it. Lays it back into Maynell. Maynell into Parkin. Parkin has two players on him. Goes back, looks to try and keep the pressure going by giving it to Potts. Potts feigns to shoot, goes wide here to Holdsworth. Holdsworth chips it in, looking for Rotherham. Rotherham heads on, and it's picked up easily by Stuart Coburn in the end. And a long counter-attack. Immediately bounces kindly here for Reeves. Drench was off his line so quickly. Playing a sweeper roll to take it away from Reeves just before he had the chance to shoot. It fell to him from a kind deflection. And now Altrincham have a chance to mount some pressure of their own here.
It was really good reading of the play by Danny Hall to get the interception from Coburn's kick, but it hammered off Ben Parker and into Reeves' path, and shows how alert Drench must be to get off his line that quickly.
Drench just knew where the danger could fall there, and like you say, he was just there in time, because Damian Reeves, on two occasions, he's showing a different approach to forward play here than James Walshaw did. Not seeing the offsides that we were seeing in the first half, and looks much more likely just to break through that back four.
Yeah, and we know he's got a lethal shot, and he's it means what we're getting now is real heart in mouth moments. 2 or 3 already since he came on, and another 1 or 2 more heart in mouth moments, and I think we'll see a goal in net moment, and that's what Altrincham want playing on the break.
Densmore now comes down this right hand side. A super run from the Altrincham captain, gets the ball into the area. Lovely play to find Carl Rogers. Rogers puts the ball into the back of the net, and the threat that has been coming on the counter-attack has been shown now. Great run from Sean Densmore, played the ball infield, a nice little touch from Reeves, and it's now Guiseley 1, Altrincham 2.
It was a well-worked goal from Altrincham, and they have looked dangerous since Reeves came on, and they've looked just to have a little bit of extra composure. and movement up front, but that's a heartbreaker for Guiseley. And now this 13-match unbeaten run is under severe pressure, and Mark Bowers decided with a substitution here he's going for experience over youth. He's bringing Craig Hobson on for the debutant Parkin, and he's obviously wanting to try and change something to get his team back into the game now at 2-1 down at home.
Well, there had been a couple of instances leading up to that chance. You were just talking about the fact that there's every chance this could be turned into a goal. It's a surging run from Densmore. Guys, have had their chances too, let's not forget. Somehow the ball just hasn't fallen across the line for them this afternoon. We haven't had the rub of the green in the penalty area. Altrincham now are on a high and come forward before Steven Drench steps across and clears up towards Alex Johnson. Haven goes through the back of Johnson, and it's a free kick inside the centre circle for Guiseley.
I think what we were saying was right. Guiseley have had the better of the possession, and they've looked very dangerous with it. But Altrincham have done exactly what an away team should do, which is make some chances on the break and take the most of them when they present. And since Reeves came on, his movement is just a little bit different. He's a little bit more intelligent. He's knocking the ball down and moving off and looking for a return.
Free kick taken, lofted in the air by Jake Lawler, picked up easily by Stuart Coburn. Looks like there may be another substitute in the offing for Guiseley. I think it might be Lewis Swain who's up and getting ready to enter the fray. Quite sure who would come off at the moment, but Altrincham have the advantage at the moment. They lead by 2-1. They come forward again here with Richmond. Richmond plays it out to Densmore, the creator of their second goal. This time his delivery isn't as good, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And it is indeed Louis Swain who's all kitted out, and Mark Bauer just over on that far side giving instructions to Craig Hobson. And I think we're going to change the shape a little bit here, Nick, if I'm reading or interpreting the sign language that I can pick up here on that far side.
It's looking like it might even be 4-4-2 now. Gavin Rothery's just trotting over to the left, but it does look like Hobson and Johnson are level, playing as a front two maybe at the moment. We'll wait and see how that settles down.
Rhys Maynell has the ball. It's closed down. Altrincham fans in better voice than they've been throughout this afternoon. And for a spell they had in the last sort of 5-10 minutes or so that has led to them getting the second goal in their game, the third goal in this game that gives them a 2-1 lead. Altrincham now nod the ball forward, looking to release Reeves once again, picked up by Laurie. Now Rogers lays it back to the right hand side where Densmore picks it up, plays a long one forward looking for Reeves. Reeves shadowed well by Hall, goes all the way back to Steven Drench. Drench lofts it long, looking for Brooksby, too much for Brooksby to do, and it's gone out for a throw. And as we enter the final 20 minutes or so of this game, Nick, you'd imagine that it's going to be fairly nerve-wracking stuff, isn't it? But just at the moment the wind totally up with Altrincham sails, isn't it? Difficult to get back in this.
Yeah, the ground feels a little bit flat, doesn't it now? And guys, they haven't had any more real attacking possessions since that goal.
And just as you're speaking there, Perry sends the ball towards Reeves, but again Danny Hall does well.
I think Hall's okay with Reeves when it's one-on-one. It's when Reeves kind of moves slightly wider and gets in between him and Andy Holdsworth that he's very difficult to pick up.
Well, the ball back here with Steven Drench. Just the shape of the play since Altrincham have got that second goal. It's been less stretched, and Altrincham have just been able to repel Guiseley so much more. But Craig Hobson's just earned a free kick now for Guiseley. 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline, midway through the Altrincham half. This might be a chance to get a delivery into the area.
Yeah, they've got to be getting Danny Hall and Craig Hobson and the other tall lads in there onto the end of this.
Brooksby whips it in, up towards the edge of the area where I think Hobson gets the touch, goes behind for a goal kick. And that's a disappointing end to a set piece. And we have 17 minutes to go here, with Guiseley trailing by 2-1 here at home to Altrincham. Took the lead with Alex Johnson on 8 minutes, but goals from Gianluca Haven in the first half levelled the scoreline, and Carl Rogers in the second half on 69 minutes has given the Robins the lead.
A real test of character now for this Guiseley team, missing.
Oh, there's a chance here for Altrincham to come forward. The referee does well, actually. There was a tug on Reeves, I think by Hall, and referee gave initially an advantage and now has given a free kick here to Altrincham.
Yeah, right decision, and it creates another dangerous situation where Altrincham are going to look to get some bodies into the box and float the ball in, I think. And
it's Laurie who steps over the ball, sends it in towards the edge of the penalty area. Perry gets onto it. Carl Rogers sends it over the bar, but it was too late anyway. There had already been an offside decision given against Perry. But how Carl Rogers missed that one, we'll never quite know. I can only assume he'd have given up the ghost and the game he'd noticed he was offside.
Yeah, that's being charitable, I suppose. It would have been a contender for miss of the season had the ball not already been dead.
Hobson gets a flick on, but it's easily defended once again by Altrincham. Drench picks it up, takes it back into the area. Interesting to see Damian Reeves not giving up the ghost on that one at all. Runs all the way to force Steven Drench to pick it up. Drench rolls it out here to Holdsworth. Holdsworth comes over the halfway line, sends it forward looking for Hobson. Hobson gets the flick on, but Johnson's not there to receive. Sent back the other way. Hall has to get a header to keep Damian Reeves at bay. His touch knocks it out for a throw-in. And it's a throw-in that Nik Keefe will come across and take. And at the moment, the Lions are trailing by 2-1. Everything in Altrincham favour. The throw taken in here towards Rogers. Rogers from distance from goal takes a shot. It was a tame one. Almost fell kindly for Perry. It's cleared. Now it's Densmore. Densmore puts the ball down the right hand side into the feet here of Richmond. Altrincham are coming forward with some intent, but Richmond plays a poor ball, and then Potts is bundled over. Advantage is given, and Guiseley can come down this left hand side with Rothery. Up towards Johnson. Johnson in a battle with Haven. Haven surely blocking him, and then the referee somehow gives that the other way. But Johnson was clearly being obstructed on the ball there. Well, the referee's got that one wrong.
It looked obvious to us from here, didn't it? But obviously the referee's seen it differently, and it just adds to the frustration that's around the ground right now. It's a real test of character for this Guiseley team. Yes, they're missing some of their players that have been a fixture in this recent unbeaten run, but they've shown that they've got enough out there today to get something from the game.
Now a flick on as the ball goes back into the Guiseley penalty area. It's deflected away up to the halfway line. Now taken down here by Brooksby. Brooksby was making all sorts of problems earlier on, but right up to the goal, Guiseley have just been kept quiet, and Rogers has stepped up once again to block Brooksby and play the ball into Laurie here. Laurie plays the 1-2 with Clee, gets the ball back, plays again the ball in towards Clee, but he's overhit that one. It's gone behind for a goal kick. The only thing I can say is if I was watching it from an Altrincham perspective, you'd be thinking we've got to get the third, because anything could happen and Guiseley could get back into it. But since the goal, there just hasn't been any threat from Guiseley. And since the second one has gone in, it's very hard to see how we're going to get back into this game.
Well, the last time Guiseley have been behind in a fixture, I think, is probably the away game at North Ferriby. And you can tell they're not used to being behind, and it's really not the stuffing out of them.
Well, Potts has just clipped Richmond, and it's another free kick here to Altrincham. Bang in the square centre of the Guiseley half. Central, and Laurie will take his time to take this one. 12 minutes to go. Guiseley trailing by 2-1 here. At home to Altrincham, ending the unbeaten run as it stands. That started with Altrincham, where we lost there so badly. But there's still plenty of time left. Time being taken over this free kick is immense, isn't it, Nick? Surely there's a bit of time wasting going on here.
Yeah, I don't know why they're stringing it out. Oh no, apparently they're not happy that the wall is far enough back. Okay. Well, in the meantime, there is a substitution being readied, so I think we'll see Louis Swain on after this.
Laurie takes the ball, plays it into the area, takes a deflection off, I think it was Carl Rogers. Wasn't so much a header on target. It bounces over and out, and it's going to be the substitute you called, and it's Michael Potts who's coming off.
Well, that's That's an interesting change. That really is. I mean, but Potts has been busy. He's tried a little bit too hard once or twice. He's held onto the ball slightly too long and tried to do a bit too much by himself. But he's shown touches of class, and he's been the most mobile kind of Jack Ray type midfielder in there. And instead, I think Gavin Rothery's coming back with instructions now from the bench that he and Jake will play in midfield. Louis Swain's coming out onto the right at the moment and sending Wayne Brooksby in midfield. So that's an interesting one, being as Swain is left-footed.
Well, we've gone from 4-2-3-1 to 4-4-2, and now I'd say it's more like a 4-3-3 at the moment.
Yeah. With
long one forward, it just gives Alex Johnson a chance. Johnson's been given a tug there by Haven. Stopped, looked, but it just went all the way through to Stuart Coburn. Referee not interested at all in that. In fairness, Alex Johnson didn't really claim it either.
No, at some point Haven has started getting the better of Johnson in the second half, and the decisions have started going his way when they're 50-50 and up against each other, those two. And Johnson just needs to start doing a bit more of what he was doing in the first half again, and getting a bit busy and a bit about him a bit more.
Reese Maynell having to battle to keep this ball away from a rather numerous Altrincham attack, and they're beginning to win everything now. Altrincham, they've just earned a throw in inside Guiseley's half. Densmore with a throw, takes it, gives it to Richmond under a battle with Gavin Rothery, flicks the ball back, but it's easily cut out now, and Hall can send it up to the halfway line, where Gianluca Haven puts a challenge in on Alex Johnson, wins the ball fairly. Throw into Guiseley. Mark Bauer trying to get things going by handing the ball to Reese Maynell to take this throw. Into the feet of Hobson. Hobson gets the ball to his feet, turns once, plays it forward, but there's nobody there in the space that he plays the ball into. And now the counter-attack's on. Perry comes down this left-hand side. He's not exactly sprinting, just holds this one up. He's got Danny Hall holding him up, but Perry's just going to keep it in that corner flag and try and lay the ball back here. He's got Clee just behind him. Hall in the end does win it, but it's fallen kindly here for Laurie. Laurie gets a shot away with the right foot, but it's a misdirected shot really, and it's behind rather harmlessly for a goal kick.
That move came about because Louis Swain, who's been sent on to play on the right, had already drifted across into the middle, leaving absolutely nobody on the right hand side at all for Guiseley, apart from Holdsworth, who was lining up with the back four. So if he's going to be out there on the right, Louis, he's going to have to stay out there and look to give Guiseley an outlet.
Ball here with Danny Hall. Guiseley send it forward, looking for Alex Johnson. Johnson left to Gavin Rothery. Guiseley tried to mount an attack here. Rothery into the feet of Maynell, making a good overlapping run. Gets the ball into the area, blocked by Haven. Tries to get it back in there, but again it falls kindly for Altrincham. Good defending, and Haven helps it away. Jake Lawler takes the ball down in midfield, nutmegs his opponent. Rogers plays it out to the left-hand side, where Maynell can get this one into the area. Leather has to make a good connection on the head, and this goes behind for the corner, the first one that Guiseley have had since they conceded the goal.
Well, it took 3 attempts there for Reese Maynell to win a corner. He'd already got in a dangerous position with 2 attempted crosses, and the third one brings a reward of a set piece.
The corner comes in from this left-hand side into the 6-yard box, headed away by Haven. Has to be kept in here by Hobson. Hobson lets it go for a throw. Guiseley need to turn this possession into goals. At this point, they need to use and exploit this rare foray forward that they've had since they've fallen behind. Swain concedes possession very cheaply, actually, and Guiseley just don't get anything out of it. It's a goal kick, and that's very, very disappointing.
Yeah, there's a lot of work for absolutely no fruit there. But Guiseley have to keep going. They have to keep getting men chasing it down when they're out of possession, because Altrincham now will do exactly what any team who's a goal ahead with not long in the game to go would do, and that is they will not rush with set pieces, and they will look to hold on to the ball and just let Guiseley do the hard work.
6 minutes to go. Guiseley trailing by 2-1 after taking an early lead. Altrincham have come right back into this and are now in front. Gavin Rothery with the ball for the Lions. Plays it up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson into the feet now of Holdsworth. Guiseley coming forward now. Holdsworth out to the right-hand side. Swain takes it. Square to Jake Lawler. Lawler back to Swain. Swain plays it into the edge of the 18-yard box. Left by Gavin Rothery for Alex Johnson. Just can't kindly for the Guiseley striker, and it's cleared by Altrincham, who could come on the counter-attack. The ball falls dead and kind for Ben Parker, who sends it back to goal, and Steven Drench just jinks past Damian Reeves and then sends the ball up to the halfway line. Brooksby wins it. Brooksby's caught, wins a free kick on the halfway line. Laurie it was who caught him. And now's a chance here for Guiseley to get some bodies forward into the final third.
Yeah, that was a bit better from Guiseley actually. Looked to move it a bit more quickly. Brooksby looked ready to take on one or two men before passing it, and Altrincham had to break it up and stop the momentum. Drench all the way into the Altrincham half to take this free kick.
Drench plays the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Scurries back to his own goal, up towards Hobson. Hobson gets it at the second attempt, goes down towards the byline, covered well by Leather. Hobson does well to get it back in there, flicked on by Maynell, helped in towards Alex Johnson, who's running away towards the touchline, and he's well shadowed here by Clee. Johnson not really going anywhere, tries to win a corner, does so. Does really well there, doesn't he, Alex Johnson, to win that corner?
He does, and he's carried on working and trying to do what he can, and you know, he's had a hard game up against Haven, who's a really good defender.
Corner comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, header goes in towards goal, headed in by Swain, cleared off the line. And Guiseley have another chance that's cleared off the line in this game. And Guiseley will have to wait before they can take the throw, because Altrincham have decided to take a substitute. And it's their third and final one of the game. And it's a man who's impressed, Nicky Clee, who certainly has played his part this afternoon. And he's going to be replaced by a man they signed midweek from Stafford Rangers, Tom Marshall.
Yeah, Clee's had another good game. He's an intelligent player, and he's got good feet, and he's kept the right hand side of Guiseley's formation occupied as he's drifted around and made some good runs as well. Obviously, Altrincham just bringing on some fresh legs to try and see the game out, but it comes, the substitution is really well timed from Leeson. It comes just as Guiseley were in the ascendancy and had the wind at their backs, and now they've had a few moments to stop, and they've got to pick themselves up and start again.
Uses up some more time, doesn't it? 3.5 minutes to go. Guiseley trailing by 2-1 here at home. The throw-in taken. Holdsworth gets it in towards the edge of the area. Hobson has to turn, goes down under the challenge, and somehow the referee decides that's not a free kick, but that's a pretty contentious decision for my part, and now Densmore can come away as Altrincham look to counter-attack. Clearly Hobson was taken down there, but Reeves now with the ball on the right-hand side, whips it in towards the area, goes over Drench, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
It was a clear foul on Hobson, but then what we saw after that, Ben Parker was just trying to do a little bit too much with the ball. He should have just left it safely for, or played it safely back to Steven Drench, but he tried to keep the possession going, and he almost let Altrincham in for the second, and that's the risk, as Craig Hobson is rightly penalised there, I think, Colin.
Yeah, I think there's a sense that he's been picked on there, but he was tugging at the shirt of Tom Marshall. He had a full shirt in his hands, didn't he? So you can't argue with that. Free kick to Altrincham.
Yeah, absolutely right, and it gives Altrincham the chance to, again, it's a set piece. They're not going to rush, and why should they?
Marshall takes this one. There's another big old unit as well. And Guiseley clear their lines here with Holdsworth playing it long towards Johnson. Johnson takes it down under pressure from Haven, plays it out to Swain. Swain plays it in towards Brooksby. Brooksby can chase to get towards the byline here. Good tackle, but Brooksby picks up the ball from Haven. Back here to Swain. The ball into the area, and then Brooksby's penalised. And a free kick's been given after he collided with Adam Griffin.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say really about that, Nick.
Well, let's look at Tom Marshall instead. You say he's a big unit, and I think what they've done is brought him on to withstand the physical and aerial assault that they presume will come if Guiseley throw a couple of their defenders forward in the dying seconds of the game. But of course, with Swain and Hobson on the pitch as well now, Guiseley have more of a physical presence up front than they have earlier points in the game, and I think Marshall's there just to try and neutralise some of that.
Hobson battling away in the centre circle as he tried to win that ball. A long one from here, Reese Maynell. It's blocked by Perry and a free kick's given. And Guiseley fans feel a little bit aggrieved at the moment. The referee's not really giving anything their way, but And Steven Drench takes the free kick, lays it out to the right-hand side here, where Andy Holdsworth gets the ball. Played forward here, looking for Hobson. Hobson tries to turn off his man's shoulder. Has to go back in the end towards Swain. Swain on the edge of the area. Heavy touch from Swain, but a good back flick to give it to Andy Holdsworth. Into the area! Nobody get on the end of it! Gavin Rothery takes a shot with the left bit wide. He just couldn't get the ball down. That was a real chance for the Lions. The ball was cleared. Rothery got it on the edge of the area, tried to get it down onto the left boot, but he didn't have much time. And the chance goes begging, and it's wide of the mark in the end.
It was a fantastic bit of work in the area. Louis Swain with the back heel to play Andy Holdsworth in. He squared it. It was begging for a Guiseley foot to get onto it. That didn't happen. As you say, the clearance was made, and Gavin Rothery just couldn't get his left foot through it, could he? And ended up just completely scuffing it.
Danny Hall flicks the ball on. Actually, Reeves is going down towards goal, and it's helped back towards Drench, flicked away by Jake Lawler. In the end, it's gone out for a throw-in, and full time, 90 minutes is up. We just wait for whatever is to be added to be announced. We haven't really seen it. Don't think it's come up on the board. Jake Lawler has it inside his own half. Whatever guys you have to do, they have to do it quick. Andy Holdsworth comes over the halfway line. The home crowd urge their team on. A good ball out here to Swain. Swain on the right flank. Can he get this ball into the area? It's a good one in with the left foot. In towards Hobson. Takes a flick on towards goal. Well held by Stuart Coburn. The chance goes begging. It wasn't the best connection from Hobson. It was a good ball in from Swain, but it never really threatened the Altrincham goal.
No, and it's looking like this game is in danger of being a real heartbreaker for Guiseley. They've done enough to, you would have thought, to get something from the game, but at the moment, as the ball comes the closest it's come all season to destroying our laptop, it's looking at the moment like they've just not managed to get that perfect chance in the back of the net to keep this unbeaten run going.
Now is a chance here for Altrincham to tidy things up. Reeves sniffs around the edge of the 18-yard box. Well ferried back to the goalkeeper by Hall again. Drench sends it forward immediately, looking to set Guiseley forward, and a good header there from Marshall. The substitute stops the attack, but Guiseley have the throw. Now the ball with Holdsworth, sends it down the right-hand side. There's nobody there. It's easily cleared by Griffin. Long back here for Drench to deal with again. Long one forward, looking for Johnson. Headed away once again. Now Perry bundles himself down. Ben Parker somehow concedes a free kick. Guiseley will now probably regret that, because that'll just use up more than a few seconds in this free kick. But it's on the edge of the centre circle, and Altrincham aren't committing too many forward.
No, sorry, Altrincham are doing exactly what you'd hope they would do, but they've kept men back for exactly this eventuality, which is Guiseley have got the ball again.
Yeah, well, there's a counter-attack on, but it's easily dealt with by Leather. It was up towards Alex Johnson. Damian Reeves is offside. So Guiseley now can have one last long hoof for this ball forward. Steven Drench will take it. Just on the edge of the centre circle inside the Guiseley half. Everyone forward now. And everyone right on the edge of that 18-yard box. Damian Reeves clearly not the 10 yards, but don't think it matters. Drench lofts it in, up towards the penalty spot, headed away, bounces in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a shot and it comes in! Gavin Rothery puts a ball in the back of the net! The ball along, speculative one forward. It was headed away at first, but it fell in the 6-yard area. Then there's Gavin Rothery with a left boot, just to poke it home inside the 6-yard box, and it's Guiseley 2, Altrincham 2.
Oh, what a fantastic finish to the game. Steven Drench took his time over the free kick. He sent everybody forward. He told Danny Hall to get into the box, said, don't worry, it's not going to come back. Get yourselves up there and into the box. And from inside his own half, he lofted it right into the most dangerous area of the box. And as you say, they had enough men in there, Guiseley, that time to scramble one home. And you probably heard at home, or wherever you are in the world, how that went down in the ground and what that meant to the home fans, because it was the final action of the game, Colin.
And would you believe it? It was the last kick. What a turnaround in the end. It looked like the unbeaten record was at an end. The clean sheet certainly was. The sixth straight clean sheet. Steven Drench conceded 2 this afternoon. What an entertaining game of football. Altrincham looked to have it wrapped up after coming back from a goal behind after Alex Johnson had given the Lions the lead. It was an equaliser from Gianluca Haven, a good second from Carl Rogers after a great run from Sean Densmore from right back, but right at the very death, just when it looked like the game had gone, there was Gavin Rothery to poke the ball home inside the 6-yard box from a free kick that Steven Drench had lofted into the area. Guys had committed everybody forward. We're deep into stoppage time. It was the last action of the game. It's finished here. Guiseley 2, Altrincham 2.
We have said this often, that this Guiseley team is not comparable to the side that was playing in white at the beginning of the season and all the way into October, but Altrincham will go away knowing that this is a very, very different Guiseley to the Guiseley they played in the first week of that month. And what's different is that today, when Guiseley went behind, they kept at it. Their heads dropped and they had to regroup themselves and regather their momentum and get back to doing what they'd been doing well throughout the game. And it was that strength of character that says this Guiseley team doesn't roll over anymore. And they forced their way back into the game, and they couldn't have left it any later. They couldn't have left it any later, because as soon as the kickoff was taken by Altrincham following the goal, then the referee called time on the game. But to be honest, it was what Guiseley deserved. Guiseley didn't deserve to lose the game today. Altrincham took the chances they had well, and credit to them for coming to Nethermore against a team that's been in such fantastic form and putting 2 past a keeper who hasn't conceded for an awfully long time now. But Guiseley were good value for the point today, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, weren't they? And like you say, Altrincham are a very good side, and there's some quality in this squad. I think they'll be up there. Right at the end of the season. There's no doubt that it's going to be a tight and competitive Conference North campaign, and Altrincham have certainly got an excellent squad. This was a really well worked point, wasn't it? It was really well earned, but on the balance of play, well deserved.
Yeah, well, the energy levels throughout the game from both teams were phenomenal. Neither keeper ever had time to stop and think about a clearance, or any defender had time to just stand with the ball and watch the clock tick. Both teams carried on working throughout, and it made it a fantastic spectacle. It was tetchy at times because it was so competitive in midfield, and balls weren't rolling along the ground, which meant that there were opportunities for each team to nick possession from the other and get chances to move forward on the break. And what you come away with, a point for either team, is probably a pretty fair result in the end, because of what Altrincham did in the second half and the way they changed their shape, as they did last time we played them. They changed the tactics and they changed the pattern of the game, and so I don't begrudge them the point today that they've earned. But really, this is in the end a point won by Guiseley, and instead of being a deflating second defeat to Altrincham, instead, if anything, the way this game's finished will lift confidence for the Boxing Day and New Year's Day fixtures, which are going to be so difficult against in-form Harrogate.
Well, we knew it was going to be a difficult period. It continues on Boxing Day, which is Wednesday or Thursday even, I think. It's Thursday, isn't it, Boxing Day?
Christmas has come early in your house, hasn't it?
It is, yes. At Harrogate Town. We'll be there for that fixture, and hopefully we'll be joined by Jack Ray, who will be summarising alongside us at Wetherby Road. And then, of course, it's back here for Gainsborough Trinity next Saturday. But this afternoon, it has finished with Guiseley grabbing a last gasp equaliser against a very fine Altrincham side, and continuing that unbeaten run. It's finished here. Guiseley 2, Altrincham 2, and we'll see you again on Boxing Day. Cheerio for now.